Okay, ladies, now let's get information. I say, okay, ladies, now let's get information. You know you that bitch when you cause all this conversation. Always stay gracious, best revenge is your paper.
All right, it's your
Yeah.
girl, the thick writer chick, Miss Courtney Lyric in the building, and I am joined today by a panel of wonderful, beautiful black men. We are here to discuss the war on stepdads. So, this I just
When you
thought
say
that
it
was
like
so
that, the war.
dun dun dun. So, starting with Mr. Slim B, if you guys could just go in order introducing yourself, and if there's any kind of platform you want to plug, go ahead and do that.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Slim B. I have a podcast, ONITKS, on YouTube. You can follow that at YouTube/Gamers Delight Presents with two S at the end.
Okay.
Oh, I guess that'd be the old man. I'm sorry. Hey, it is an honor, it is a privilege. I am Donnie Lewis, aka the Louisiana Country Boy. You can follow me YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, anywhere on social media. My worthless 2 cents, along with me. Once more again, the Louisiana Country Boy.
It's me. I'm back again, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Triple X K Boogie Triple X. You can find me on Twitch. That's pretty much where I'm at right now. But I also stream to Facebook from time to time and Instagram, and I'm gonna start uploading videos on YouTube. So y'all be look forward to that. And also, I'm gonna figure this TikTok thing out. But yeah, that's me.
Oh, I guess I'm last. So I'm Josh. You can find me in the streets roaming around about. So yeah, that's about the only place. So
He's for the streets.
yeah,
Okay,
I mean I'm
okay.
not for the streets, but you know what I mean. Just
Hey, I
roaming
was
You
around.
just going to ask you,
said
Josh.
it.
I was
Hey,
just
live
going
your
to
life,
ask
bruh.
you.
Live your life.
Just said it. You said it. But okay. So we are here today to talk about the war on stepdads. And I like to just get things rolling. So I'm gonna just ask you fellas straight up, why do some men hate Russell Wilson?
Uh, eh, if I can say, or if I can start off first, I don't think it's necessarily like a hate. Well, it could be a hate, but for me, I think it's more like they see him as a cornball, like or whatever. Like they call him lame, but I don't think he's lame or whatever. Like I think he's just more. He comes off as super hella corny or whatever. And I can't really talk bad about him because he is the quarterback of my team. So
Oh, Broncos fan. Okay. Hmm.
Well, I can talk about it then, because yeah, my quarterback. Nah, Russell Wilson. I mean, to me, I feel like he went through change going to Seattle, and then he got with Sierra, and then to me, he came real nigga Russell at that point.
Yeah.
Got with Sierra, and I think people are just thrown off by his demeanor and the way he carries himself, which is very straight laced and tight, and a lot. That's not a lot of men out there that usually do that. Um, I think that's why he catches a lot of flack for just being very straight laced and very just honest and kind of just how you doing, guys, like that type of thing. So I mean, that's why he catches a lot of slack. Other than outside of that, like I think men hate on him being a stepdad. Now, future, that's a different story. A lot of that is just within. I think there's people. Some people are just jealous the way he just brought him in. He's like, I'm not going to treat you like a stepson. I'm going to treat you like my real son. So,
And I think that's what it is too. It's a lot of Future fans because Future was mad because he
hmm
stepped up. Like he stepped up. You can't get mad at him for stepping up because you weren't there. So I feel like a lot of that flag just come from where Future was saying, and then a lot of his fans gonna back him up because they're fans.
Hmm.
But I don't see nothing he did wrong. Like Josh said, he don't treat them kids like they're step kids or what I'm saying, treat them differently than their biological kids. He treat them all the same, like they're his kids. So
Right.
I don't see nothing he
hmm
did wrong.
I
Okay.
can just say this is that from where I stand, I don't know anything about it, but I know a lot about people. A lot of times, what we have when we have hatred, hatred is fueled by jealousy and envy.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, mic drop. Okay, okay. So to kind of sum up what you guys have said, you feel like Russell receives a lot of flack because he is corny, because he carries himself in a certain light, and also because he doesn't treat his stepson any different than he does his other children.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
yeah.
And I only bring him up because he is like the self-appointed, not self-appointed. In fact, forgive me for even saying that. He has been appointed as the poster child for stepdads. And for some reason, I don't know. Anytime I see them in the news outside of football, which I don't really follow sports, so whenever I really see them, it's always something negative and it always involves the children. Like it's they've been married for some time. Even their oldest child, she's like in about to be, fourth, fifth grade, and we're still on this. So why every 5 business days, does this become a thing? So my second question to you is, do you think the Russell Sierra thing would be an issue if Sierra were not black?
Nah, shit. If she wasn't black, it'd probably be worse because they'll be hating on him like why he doing it like that
Would they?
with her like with a white woman or whatever you wanna.
I don't think it'll be a difference either
Yeah. No,
because it's still that
Really?
dynamic is still going on. Like the dynamic ain't gonna change no matter what the relationship is. The and me and D have had this conversation.
Mhm.
The stepdad role, the like we've had this,
Yeah.
and I mean we've had it to the point we had to call each other
So it
after the
We done,
hurts.
screen was
we done
over to
had
get
this
an
conversation.
understanding. But
Okay.
I feel like that is it's just the dynamic. So no matter what color you are, no matter what you identify as, that step parent thing is always going to be an issue when somebody is not stepping up to plate, but they're jealous of the person that is stepping up to the plate.
I
So
was just
that
gonna say if the situation was like on the other end, like Sierra like was doing Russ wrong or something like that, where or the kids was disrespectful to him or something like that, or disowned him, or they was clowning Russ, like the family was clowning Russ,
hmm
it'll probably be something different. But this is like Russ is damn near implementing the perfect way of doing the stepdaddy thing. It's just not idolized. Like people idolize Future or whatever. Like
Mm.
I'm not a super fan, but I like but I can see or whatever. But people idolize Future more than they idolize Russ. And
Okay.
if Russ and his examples were put out more, it'll probably be looked at a whole lot different. But of course, we live in a society now, or times has changed now, where superheroes, like we care more for the villains more nowadays, or whatever, if you can say.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
y'all genuinely feel that if Sierra was a white woman, that our community would be up. This would be a discussion every 5 business days, like it is now.
No.
I have to
Yeah.
say, I
I
don't
well,
think so.
I think it would. I think it would be opposite end and what you think it would be. It would definitely involve a lot more race related things.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
would be like,
yeah.
oh man, Russell Wilson, he acting white. He over here, got this white woman, da, 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 he doing this and acting this way. And,
Yeah, I
I
can.
hate that
Okay,
term,
and I
acting
hate to
white. I
chime. Yeah, I
hate
hate
that
to.
term.
Can I chime in? Now, I do agree
Hmm.
there would be more people fixated on the fact that there was possibly, because it's very normal. It's not abnormal to see a black athlete with a white woman. So I don't think it would be as much of an uproar as you say. But I still don't necessarily think the part of the issue with Russell to others is the stepdad part. If he were married to a white woman who had children, would they care that she had children? That's what I'm asking. They
No.
might care about
Okay.
her
Okay. No,
race.
they wouldn't care.
Yeah, I don't think they would care at all because
Yeah.
an example I'd like to use, if you guys know, Heidi Klum was married to Seal the singer, and they
Hmm.
actually met when she was 3 weeks pregnant. They got married with her being pregnant by another man, and nobody said anything.
I see
And
that's what. Oh, that crazy. That crazy. That
nobody,
crazy.
I've never seen people get on the internet the whole time they were married and be like, Seal is a simp.
And see, but see, I really don't pay attention too much simply because them people in a whole nother tax bracket. So I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Be
just out
that
of
Harriet
the it's just
Mays.
out of the norm. Like Russell's able to do things that we can't do or whatever. So it's
I
like
feel you
you
on
can't
that.
you really can't say nothing. You can't hate on it or whatever.
But they do. Yeah.
But
So
the
Yeah.
whole Steals Heidi Klum thing, I don't think like that's damn near weird to me. So shit, I don't know.
If I could just say this,
sure.
what's really weird to me is the fact that Billy Clyde down the street do the same thing.
Hello.
He do the same thing. He steps up every single day, and people fail to realize that there's a Jed that married a woman that was pregnant. What you're saying, but there's somebody that's right here amongst us that do the same things that get absolutely no credit for what they do.
Facts.
And
Yeah.
on the flip side of it,
Hmm.
they get beat down for it. And then it has to be somebody that's a why has it got to be somebody over here when you got somebody in your neighborhood that's doing the same thing, that's stepping up each and
Yeah.
every day,
Big
not just
facts.
for their kids, but for the neighborhood kids?
Yeah.
That's my issue.
Okay, and we're gonna chime on that in just a minute. I'm glad you brought that up. Like when Kevin was on my show the other week, one thing I like to do on my platform is yes, hot takes are a thing, but in real life, stepdads are very normal. Like in real life, most of the people you see bringing kids here, there, and here may not necessarily be a biological parent. It is an everyday thing. So why, when Russell Wilson decided to do it, the reason it's such a is because they're on a much larger scale. That's all.
Facts.
They are so yes, they're celebrities and it's out of our tax bracket, but the trickle down effect is my concern because we're making comments on a rich couple, but you're bringing it down to everyday living. If Sierra, who is a celebrity, doesn't deserve real love or a second opportunity, then of course you don't think the everyday black single mother does.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes a problem. When there's a trickle down effect to everyday life, that's when it's time to discuss. That's why I had this conversation. Like, forget Russell Wilson because he don't care. I'm telling y'all, he do not be caring about them
Yeah.
comments. He's not leaving Sierra. Tap tap. He's not leaving her. But they're gonna keep talking about them every time Future drops a line in his rap record. And here we are amongst ourselves having that conversation again. And it's kind of funny when it's a few comments, but when the comment has been reposted 11K times, now it might become problematic. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm.
Okay.
And if I could say this, for me, when do we remove our big old egos and think about what's best for the children?
When I say you skipped ahead, it's right here.
Oh.
We coming, Mr. Donnie. I'm coming. I'm coming. Great minds think alike. So on to
Yeah.
number three. On to number three. Can you be communal minded and have issues with positive stepfathers? Can you really be pro black, pro the community, and have an issue with positive step parents?
I'm trying to figure out the
Don't get
best way
quiet
to
on me
word this.
now.
No,
I mean, yeah,
so
that's you asking a loaded question. That
That
thing.
is it. It's
this,
it's
uh,
really yes or
Break
no.
it down a little bit for me because I'm
Yeah,
trying to
break it
Okay.
I'm trying
Well,
to
Mr. Donnie kind of skipped ahead, but if you are pro black, if you are pro the community, if you're pro positive steps for our community, and it's no shade to anybody else, but we are all black for a reason. We talking to us. Russell Wilson and Sierra are black. This issue, I don't see. Can I be frank? I don't see white men posting stuff like this. Not that we care about that. So we're here talking to us. Can you really be pro our children are the future, pro it takes a village, pro communal minded black children getting all the love they need if you have an issue with positive stepfathers?
Ooh, I don't think, here go me in my mouth, and I'm gonna shut up after this.
Go
I
ahead.
don't think that people have an issue with stepfathers or stepmothers. I think people have an issue with themselves.
You keep jumping
there
ahead,
you
Mr.
go.
Donnie. Bring it back. Bring it back. We when
and
I
and
say
I
we
was
coming, when I say we coming, we coming.
and I was gonna say, like, again, I'm with Mr. Donnie. I don't think it's an issue with stepdads and stepmoms. For me, it's boundaries, and I'm just gonna dive into it. I have no issue with if my kid's mom were to get married to whoever. If he comes in, that's cool. But My issue is when you overstep boundaries. I've been an active father my kids' entire life. I've never skipped a beat. So don't come in because you don't understand
Hmm.
the dynamic between me and my kids' mom.
Okay.
Because we went through hell and high water to get to a point to where we can be communal. I apologize, my
Go
Layla.
ahead, y'all.
I'm sorry, y'all. We went through hell and high water to get to a point to where we can understand each other. Yes, we still have disagreements, but it wasn't as bad as it was.
Right.
So before you came into the picture, we worked to get to this point.
Okay.
Because you don't understand our dynamic, don't come in and cause issues because you don't understand it. Again, I'm not gonna do nothing disrespectful unless you disrespect me. Um, but I'm not gonna do anything. Huh?
Nobody say anything.
Oh, I'm not gonna do anything disrespectful or anything. Just come in like when I was talking to a woman. I asked the first thing I asked her what was the dynamic between her and her kid's dad. She told me, okay, understood. This is the dynamic between me and my kid's mom. We worked hard to get to this place, so I can't allow somebody to come in and disrupt it for negative reasons or just jealousy type deals.
Okay.
Because I'm not gonna not
Well,
be there for my kids, and I'm not going to jump into your situation and change up something that y'all worked hard for. As long as there's no disrespect, I have no issues. But when you come in and then you're saying little sly stuff to the other person,
Hmm.
and then it
Mm,
causes they come into our dynamic and because they're trying to appease this person, now we have issues.
Okay.
Because what's the
yep.
problem? I'm
No.
not going nowhere.
Right.
You
Right.
can be gone tomorrow,
Facts.
but I'm gonna forever be here for mine.
Okay. Hold
You
on,
know.
bro. Hold on, bro. Because you getting ahead too. Next
Oh,
question. Are the children? No, no. You on it? Are the children truly the focus?
for me, yes.
Should be.
I
Yeah,
mean,
gotta
the
be.
obvious thing we would say is, of course they are. The children are our future. Whitney Houston. But are they really? Because if adult shit is going on, then the children are not the focus.
Facts.
Yeah.
The children are not the focus. We have ego
Mhm.
projection. We got stuff that's coming in that is not on a childlike level. Because I understand most definitely what my brother is saying. If you've been an active father for all this time and we have something set up, then you do need to come in, get in where you fit in,
okay, okay.
and get on the boat. However, wait. However, I got you.
Come
However,
on, come on.
no. However,
Ooh, that's a
just because things have been away doesn't mean it doesn't change. If that woman gets a husband, things are going to change. And no, you can't
Yes,
come over here and do the things you used to all willy nilly because someone else is present. And the
but
best
that's where communication comes
Right,
in
right,
at.
right, right, right. And the
Yeah.
best thing to do is find common ground because it is not fair to put a child in a position to have to either choose or act different with an adult to appease another adult. That is not fair to a child. What if I like the stepdaddy? Now you and my real daddy got beef, and I gotta act like I don't like Mr. Jones because daddy might feel like I'm betraying him. That's too much to put on a child's shoulder.
It
Can we
is, and I
agree on
think
that?
it I agree with that. Like, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is when you bring someone in, and you being a stepfather or being a stepmother, whoever. At the end of the day, what it comes down to, of course, me and this, the other person are gonna have like we're gonna be like this. But at the end of the day, what it comes down to is this person gonna love my kids like I love my kids,
Facts.
and you know, being like I said, the more people that love my kids, the better off we are.
And
And
y'all
that's
getting ahead of me.
hey,
Hold on.
I'm good.
say
You
this.
just need to let this conversation flow and let us flow.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're
right.
absolutely right. But that was on my list too because Josh, I want to feed off what you're saying. Okay, when I was younger, the only time I got into it with like my baby daddy's girlfriends is when he was lying to us both. But at this age, when I ask my sons, do they treat you well? And the answer is yes, then bring it on.
Yeah,
I adore my children. Any kind of love I can get for them, god damn it, bring it on.
Yes.
Bring
Right.
it on. If your girlfriend is gonna treat my kids just like she treats her kids in a healthy and respectful way, I'm not finna interrupt that.
Facts.
And I'm not gonna be so caught up in who I am as the mama that I'm gonna get in her way. I'm gonna
Come
get
on.
like, yeah, we got something going, but I have to respect that. Okay, you got a wife now, a girlfriend now. I'm still going to be their mother. Don't get it twisted. But I do have to respect what you have going on, and it causes friction and problems when ego comes into play.
Yes.
Ego says,
Mhm.
I am blank. How dare you? That's what ego does. Ego says, I am blank, the person who's been here, or I am blank, the biological father. How dare you, stepdad, come in here and think you finna do. But what is best for the children? Now, obviously, we're not talking about toxic. We know horrible stepdads exist. That's why I don't have a problem with any father being like, I need to sit you down and look you in your eye.
Hmm.
Because I am a woman. I have talked to women who have been assaulted by their stepfathers. It's real.
Yeah.
But there is a
Yeah.
complete and utter difference between dick measuring and trying to make sure that my children are safe with you. Because
Yes.
that's teamwork. Teamwork says, I'm gonna trust my kids in your care because the stepdad live with them kids, right? So I gotta look you in your face. And it's not an ego thing. It's not I'm trying to check you or son you,
It's
but
just a
I gotta make
conversation
sure,
that needs to
yeah,
be had.
I
It's just
gotta
a
make sure you're
conversation
good
that needs to
people.
be had.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yep,
I've been there.
yep,
Actually,
yep,
I have been
yep.
there. I had a conversation with my ex's, her son's father,
Hmm.
and the conversation was simply, "You are his father. I am here as a guide, as a mentor, but you are his father." Bottom line. But I wanted to establish that because I don't want any. See, sometimes what I notice is that, not being negative, but sometimes it's the woman that's in the middle, because I can only speak as a guy, that's
Yep.
over here and that's over there, as not nothing has been said clearly. She can tell me
Hmm.
everything, that he did this, he was like this, he was like that. Well, you know what? He may have been, but let me have a conversation with him. Let me go one on one with him, and
Okay.
let
Hmm.
him know, man, I'm not coming here to take your place. First of
Amen.
all, if I'm here, you never had a place. But what I'm telling you is your role. I'm not here to move because your that is your seed. It's not my seed. But
Hmm.
I have a job and a responsibility because, one, if I step into a house where there are children, then I am now the leader. So I have to take that responsibility. Some men don't take that. It ain't just about I came here for this woman, because if you step in their lives, you are now the one that they're looking at, because you don't know what they look
Hmm.
at. Okay, I'm done.
That's true. Big facts. And I really commend
This,
you for being the one
this,
to
this,
initiate the conversation for sure.
and that's very much facts. Like, I don't have kids, so most of the time I'm like, if I do decide to deal with a woman with kids, like I'm gonna be playing stepdad or whatever.
Yep.
Just through all my issues, I have never had a situation where I could talk to a stepdad. Like I've tried, but it has never went down. But it also, that's what gets me to the point now. If I was to deal with a woman with kids, I would much rather the man be a deadbeat or whatever. Simple because of the fact, because most of the times it'll never be it'll never be a issue of, let's have a conversation and find common grounds. It's gonna always be met as, I'm trying to be Russell Wilson or whatever, when all I'm simply trying to do is provide a positive figure for the kids or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So
You know
so that's
what,
what.
B Slim, I hate to chime in. I'm sorry to
Go ahead.
interrupt. But you know what your situation makes me think of? I don't know if y'all remember the episode of Fresh Prince when Lou came back.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
remember, Philip kind of gave Lou a hard time, and then Will pulled him aside and was like, "Yo, what's up with that? Like, that was disrespectful." And of course, Philip is coming from a good place. Like, technically, that was his uncle-in-law, but he really was his father figure. He really was his dad.
Right.
So, in Phil's eyes, you're checking. You're really trying to mess over someone that's like a son to me. He saw Lou for what he was. We're the adults. We're
Hmm.
supposed to, right? And so it ended up their argument ended up with him saying, "To hell with what you think. You're not my father." And I'm sure that hurt, Phil's ego a
Whew.
lot, or hurt his feelings, hurt his heart a lot,
Yeah.
probably. However, I have to agree with Will. as a bonus parent or as a step up or as a mentor, we're as parents, period, we're there to pick the kids up when they fall. But when you're not the
Mhm.
bio parent, your job really is, like Mr. Donnie said, to just be there. So what probably should have happened is he could pull him aside, give him some wisdom, and let him make that choice himself. Now we all knew what was going to happen. I'm sure Phil was not surprised, and I'm so glad that when Lou did fall through the cracks, which no one was surprised about, he was just there. He didn't come at him like, "See, I was trying to tell you, little nigga, you should listen." He was just there. That's kind of when I think a good stepfather or a good mentor, I think that because yes, you have been here, but also is it fair to a child, even if their dad did just show up out of nowhere to be like, nah, nah, nah? Because wouldn't you want to know? Wouldn't you want to have that conversation?
Mhm.
So now I got to
Yeah.
appease an adult when that is my daddy.
Okay, and look, and with that same sense, what about if you was their stepdad and you've done everything and every like you have been the one from the grind up, and then when it's time for acknowledgement or it's time for appreciation, that child asks for the person for the dad that was never there for the bio, as you say.
Okay, remember what
Like
we said about ego? Remember what we said about ego?
that is very no not say that again.
What we said earlier about ego? That's a child.
But I don't
That's
think
a
I'm
that's
child.
saying
ego.
no.
I
See,
just think
okay,
that's
so as I
that's
said,
feeling.
so with me being there,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets yes I know this is a child, but I'm literally the stepdad doesn't have feelings.
No, he does, but the child.
So,
Come on now.
so
You're an
okay,
adult.
so if I do everything and the dad isn't there, that's what I'm saying. The dad
Yeah.
isn't there. The dad isn't there, and it comes down to the end of acknowledgement, like to appreciation.
Yeah.
The child calls for the bio instead of the stepdad, instead of the person that has always been there.
Continue to be there. Because give
So
him the space, give him the space. That's his right to know his blood. That's his right.
Y'all gone?
so that
Be there and
that's
be, yeah. For me, I would say be there because let me chime in on what you said. And this is from a full-time single mother. Parenthood is a thankless motherfucking job. And I'm sorry to curse, but if I waited around to get praise from anybody, let alone my kids, to be there
All right,
for
nephew,
them
love
and
you.
to have their back, I'd be waiting a long time. And do
so
the dads get to show up one weekend and take them shopping when we ain't seen them in 3 years? Yes. Do they get praise? Do they have fun? Do they want to leave? No. And I let them.
so
I
and
let them.
that's the thing. That's the thing. Like
All right,
that's
nephew, love
that's
you.
really tough. And I understand the predicament you in, Slim B. If
Oh
it
no,
comes
no,
down
no,
to
no,
that,
no, no. I'm not in it. I'm not in it. I'm. It's just I when
it
where I come from, like just the situations that my experience,
Yeah.
my
yeah.
like my and the stories that I hear, because we can talk about like it being good and staying there and stuff like that, but there are times like where if like I don't see how to explain it. I'm not saying like get praise, like being for what you've done. Just like if I had to go feed like going to go feed the homeless, and you got a camera right there. I'm not saying that, but if I'm there for graduations, if I'm there for every practice, if I'm there
I
for
get you.
whatever, at the end of like when it comes down, when you get your like whatever, like when you get when you get established, I'm not saying no, you can't see your dad and all this, you can't be with your dad. I'm saying to when you say your thank you letter, I like to thank God and my daddy, and that daddy's the bio and not the stepdaddy. I'm just supposed to like that will make me feel like crushed
Yeah.
because I was the one there.
So
Wait till
I
you have
get
a
what
kid
you
tell you he hates you and you didn't
I
busted your ass and everything for that kid. Baby.
I I get totally what you're saying. Of
Yeah.
basically, you've done all the hard work. You've been there on the
Yeah.
ground running with him. You've been there the late nights doing homework. You've been there while he was sick. You've been there, taking him to baseball practices. And then at the end of the day, they turn around, hey, like, I want to go see my dad. I want to be with my dad. Like, forget you. I want to go do. It's one of those lessons where you like what I realized is being that you have to let them do it on their own. They have to
Agree.
basically see that person because you can tell them much as you want. Hey, he's a deadbeat. He hadn't been around. He only show up during this and that. You have to let them experience it on their own and let them come to their own conclusion, because
Preach.
you're gonna be fighting a losing battle with trying to tell this kid, hey, don't do this, don't go over there with him. Don't. They don't have that experience. They don't have that connection or that understanding that you have.
Right.
That's one of those hard life lessons that's just gonna have to be learned and played out. It is. It sucks.
It
That's
Sucks.
why
sucks.
that's
Yeah.
why I'm glad I'm a good understanding guy, and just like I'm self aware of certain things
Yeah.
or whatever, and can understand, can get a grasp of it, because a lot of people don't understand that. Is very much like, I literally just, my boss or whatever, like my manager or whatever, he literally just told me a story of that, about him and his stepdaughter or whatever, called like, and it's just, those stories are very hurtful.
Yeah.
And but you like, but like y'all said, yes, you have to understand that, but that's when it comes like, is there a stepdad group around? Goddamn me, like,
But you got that
shit.
though. You got
Yeah.
that with us. Cause look how often do we pick up that control and we vent?
No, no, I'm saying just
No,
for
I
the
get what you're
in
saying,
general.
but it's just, and I'm
Yeah.
glad like me and you had that conversation a while back because it helped me understand from a different point of view.
Yeah.
Um, and it helped you understand where I was coming from. Yes,
Yeah.
we're on the opposite sides of the field, but the lanes that we're in were identical. You were
Right.
there. I've
Hmm.
always been here.
Yeah.
And then somebody out the blue comes in trying to take over in a sense. But in my situation, he was just trying to make it about something that it wasn't. Like if I had somebody to come and talk to me, if the situation I went through was kind of like the conversation that Mr. Donna had, it would have been no issue at all. If it was kind of like the conversation that you want to have, D, it would have been no issue at all. But when, like, just to dib in a little bit on my situation, we had an understanding beforehand. You know what I'm saying? It's too much going on in the world. I just wanted to meet the person that was going to be around my kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I'm wrong for that because, and she wanted to meet the person if I found somebody first. So we had that understanding. I deployed. I came back early. She knew that. The whole time I was deployed, my kids, this guy had been around my kids. So of course I felt some type of way because I know if the shoe was on the other foot, all hell would have broke loose. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So yes, my timing was wrong when I picked to have the conversation with him. My timing was horribly wrong. I take fault in it. But when I tried to initiate the conversation, I didn't come at you rude. You laughed in my face. All right, now I'm finna come at you wrong. We went outside.
Hey.
I still apologized. I still apologized. And then I told him how I felt. Hey, me and her had an understanding. You knew the understanding. As a father, I would think you'd understand. Um, I did tell him I have zero understanding when it comes to my kids because if my kids come back and tell me that you hurt them or anything like that, now me and you have an issue. And I feel like as a father, if you come to me and tell me, hey, I just want to meet you because I have zero understanding when it comes to my kids, I wouldn't take that as offensive. I would understand it because I have a daughter and I have a son. Kids are getting raped and molested in their own homes left and right. You know
This
what I'm
is
saying?
true. This is
Hmm.
true.
So I just want to know the person that's going to be around my kids. The thing was, it turned from a conversation about the kids to me wanting to still be with my kids' mom. And
Mm.
I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have been
Yeah.
friends since sophomore year of high school. So our foundation of friendship has always been there. So you not understanding our dynamic and that we're cool. Me and this woman was in a relationship for 14, 15 years. So our families are like intertwined. So when her people invite me to family events or my people invite her to family events, there's no disrespect. You can come too if we had that understanding. But the way the whole conversation went wrong
Yeah.
was, you know what I'm saying, how he came at me and how he tried to turn it from the kids, from me just wanting to meet the person around my kids to me wanting to be with my kids' mom.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of issues with step parents with the biological dads, not all of them, but some of them, is because they feel like the biological dad still has a way in to get to the mom. You know
Okay.
what I'm
He does.
saying?
And we
And
talked about
Yeah.
your
but in
situation. Yeah, we
hindsight,
talked
yes, he
about your
does.
situation off camera.
Yeah.
Um, My
In
brother-in-law got
hindsight,
with us.
and Ken remember he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kevin, like he said, we talked about his situation off camera, and we definitely discussed that that was not the time or the place to be discussing such.
Yeah,
It was
I was
literally
told
a
I
children's birthday
and I'm
party,
man
was it
enough to
not?
admit I was horribly wrong
And you
in that.
rolled up like you bust in the door, like say, "Let me holler at you." We talked
No, no,
about
no, no,
this.
no,
Don't leave that
no.
part out. Don't leave that part out, bro.
We, no, okay. I didn't bust in the door and say, "Hey, I need a holler at you." We
Oh,
were
I'm sorry. You
already there.
walked in and you was like,
He
"Say, let me
came
holler at
in.
you."
He came in, and then I was like, "All right, cool. Let me pull him to the side because they had just got here." So he came in. I was already here, and I said, "Hey, let me holler at you. Let me holler at you outside real quick." It wasn't no tone in my voice. It was just as if I'm talking to D. Hey, let me holler at you outside real quick. He laughed at
Mm.
me in my face.
We talked about it, and
Ah,
we
nah,
Yeah,
what
bro. I
I
see that. Nah,
suggested. No, 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 no,
nah, ain't gonna
no.
be no
We talked
laughing
about it
going
off
on,
camera,
man.
and
Come
what I
on, now.
yes,
suggested
That's
was
that's
that.
that's too
exactly.
Okay,
close, bro.
okay,
Like,
okay, because I feel like it
hey,
was two
that's
egos at play in his
But
situation,
but it wasn't
and
like
those two
honest
egos.
to
That's
God, like on my children, I
yeah,
didn't want it to be an issue. I just wanted to have a conversation because
yeah,
I can't go back and change time because you've already been around my kids.
right,
I just want to express to you how I felt
yeah,
and just let you know when it comes to my kids, I have zero understanding. If you hurt them, me and you have an issue. I don't care about your relationship with their mom. As
and
long
this
as
is
you
all in
treating her
that first
right,
convo,
because
y'all.
as long as you treating her right, because that's still my friend and that's still the mother of my kids, so I'm not gonna let you hurt her. But what y'all got going on in y'all relationship, I don't care. That's not my business. My only
Mhm.
concern is my kids.
Okay.
So that was all I was trying to express.
And we
But
talked
it
about it.
just,
We talked
yeah,
about
we
it.
did.
I already expressed that I felt like the woman in question. If it were me, I would initiate the sit down and not at no damn children's birthday party.
Yeah, I was
I
wrong.
think that
I was
that
wrong.
person should have been involved. And I think you should have waited until that person was involved. But you took
Oh,
it
I
upon
100% agree. I
yourself.
was
You
totally
took it
wrong with
upon
that.
yourself, and you did kind
ain't
of
totally
sun
wrong,
him. You
but
did
the
kind of
laugh,
Well,
sun him.
bro.
Look,
well,
I would have
okay,
had to
we're
slap
all black in
somebody. I
here.
would have had to
We're all
say,
black. When
hey,
you hear
oh
somebody
hell
say,
no.
"I
I
have no
would.
understanding," it's already up. Like, what are you talking about? Them already are defensive words. So I had a girlfriend of my ex, of my baby daddy, come to me once, but she messaged me on Facebook, and the reason I was fine with responding was the delivery, was the presentation. Hi, my name is so and so. I heard that so and so has a son with you. I mean, no disrespect whatsoever. I just want to know what's going on. Maybe you should have messaged him because body language and then y'all in front of people, y'all are men. Egos were at
And that's
play.
true. And that's true.
Oh,
Like
but
I
even
said,
Y'all.
with the
I was
message though,
wrong.
even with the message, it can get out of pocket because you could interpret that wrong. Like
Because
goodness.
if you come up on me talking about
That's
I
why I
have
hate
no
texting.
understanding, shit, I don't either. What's up?
But it went. But I said I have zero understanding when it comes to my kids.
But
You know what I'm
honestly,
saying?
was that needed to be said? If he's a father, I'm sure it's implied that you probably don't play about your kids. You don't have to say that.
Everybody can father a child, but everybody ain't a daddy.
I
Now
understand.
look, it's
But we
so
have to
look.
take
I'm a
accountability for the parts we play and how some things go. Can we
Oh,
agree on that?
I took full accountability for my faults.
Okay. Okay.
you do, but here's the other caveat. Like your ex is your ex for a reason. All right,
Mm.
and
Mm-hmm.
them being your ex, you already know that like morally, y'all stand on two different grounds and y'all don't see eye to eye on a lot of different things. And that's why they're your ex. And so
Mm-hmm.
chances are they're going to bring somebody in that's not going to respond the way that you want or the way that you like or the way
Mm-hmm.
is perceived in a civil manner. So you have to be prepared. Kevin, like he handled that situation perfectly. Now, me on the other hand, I would have took
Oh no,
now.
he didn't tell it all. He took it to hell. He didn't tell it all, but it went
I
to
was like,
hell.
hey,
Oh yeah, it did.
I was
It
like, you want
did
to box?
go. It
It went
went
to
left real
hell.
quick.
Yeah.
It went
And
left
I
real quick.
hate that I wasn't there because I would have just been like, no, or
But
Lorraine, get out there. Like what? Like,
but
but
like I said, I take full accountability for all the wrong that I because it took
yeah,
me and Lorraine finally had a conversation about this. Uh, like early last year, we finally sat down and talked about it and truly talked about it from her point
yeah,
of view and my point of view. You know what I'm saying? To where she got an understanding of my viewpoints, the stuff that
yeah.
she missed, and I caught the stuff that I missed from her point of view, and
Okay,
we
that's
filled
good.
in
That's
those
good.
gaps. So I do bless you, baby. I do commend the both of us for even though it took a while for us to actually sit down and have that conversation about what happened
Look,
that day.
yeah.
We did sit down and have that conversation, and like I said, I don't. I'm not proud of how I handled that situation,
Mhm.
but I'm glad it happened because the conversation was had and what's understood is understood.
Oh
Now
my.
again, she's forever gonna be my kid's mom. She's forever gonna be my friend. But relationships, that's out, and I respect it.
Yeah.
But once you, I'm petty.
It shows. I know my
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you handle that situation with your emotions and not your mind.
Tell him, Mr.
Yes,
Donnie, because he didn't hear me when I said.
Because and I'm gonna say this, and I don't know nothing about it. Your conversation had nothing to do with him. It should have been with her.
Oh my God.
She should have been the one you pulled to the side and say, "Hey, let me have a word with you," because you have no
I've been
idea
bringing
what the
nobody up here
conversation
with no
was
birthday
between them
party.
two. So you blindsided somebody that was like, "Hold up," because you are coming at me. You coming at the wrong one.
Amen.
hmm
That's just
And I
I
co-sign
it
Mr. Donnie.
so I co-sign with that, but at the same time, like I said, X's are X's for a reason, and trying to communicate that with someone, because like me and my situation right now, Lord help, uh, my baby mom, hey, that's a
Ex-wife.
whole nother. It look, look. Let me tell you, that's a whole nother story. Trying to even have that conversation, or have like, or approach that conversation, is a battle. When it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to the man himself, because I don't want to deal with all this. This is ten levels of crazy. So let me go
but like
talk
I
to the
said,
man.
he knew about
If
it
he a
because when
real
I
man,
approached him, yeah, when I approached him, I
Oh, I
literally
don't
said,
know.
"I know you
Oh.
knew, you knew the conversation we had previously. You knew because she tells you everything. So I know that you know because she told me that you know."
And is this supposed to not sound hostile? Because I'm just imagining some woman in my face saying these things and thinking she's not going to get clocked, kids or no kids. Like, let's just be real. Egos were at play. Like, okay, for Josh, I know your stuff is kind of fresh, right? You guys are
sorta,
newly
but
divorced. So it's still fresh. There's still
divorced,
open
separated for a while.
wounds,
So
there's still open
yeah,
wounds. And
But that's why, but that's why I say now, like talking to you, talking to D, hearing
yeah,
what Mr. Donna had to say, hearing what Josh had to say, I can admit my faults now. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? During
yeah.
that moment, you couldn't tell me nothing, but it took some self
Full of that crown.
reflection on me. Huh?
Would you be willing to have the
I said, full
conversation
of that
again?
crown.
I wasn't drinking either.
I repeat, would you be willing to have the conversation again from a mature standpoint? Because
Yes.
it's still causing issues if there's still friction between the three of y'all, and it's not fair to the children.
Oh, it ain't no friction no more.
Sir,
It ain't no friction. I left the situation alone because at the end of the day, I know like if the conversation had to be had, I'm willing to do anything because I'm not gonna bring any kind of negativity to my kids. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah.
Because they got to
Because
live with that man.
they got to
So,
live with it. So
yeah,
if it's anything to give my kids peace, I'm for. And I hate to turn this whole conversation about stepdads to me. You know, so I just was doing my conversation. But as a father, even though they're not married, they're not my kid's stepdad.
yeah.
If you're going to be around, yes, I'm willing to have that conversation with you.
Okay. And
You know
let's
what I'm
let's
saying?
try it a little better next time. Don't roll up on. Don't sun
I'm not.
nobody.
I'm gonna be
Because
quiet
you
and I'm
a
gonna let him
man,
have the
he's
floor
a
first.
Well,
man.
he
Y'all are
said,
both
son,
men.
somebody, bro.
Because I would have, if I was a man and
Hey,
you
son.
bust up in the graduation talking about let me holler at you like you some pimp. I'm looking around like who is she talking to? I'm
But it
gonna go
wasn't.
out of
But
respect
you
for.
you keep assuming that it was like that. Like I said, it was
It
just as
doesn't
if I
matter.
would have
It's
asked D,
perception,
"Hey, let me
Kevin.
holler at you outside."
Y'all are friends. You don't know him from Adam. It's perception.
But my tone wasn't rude or nothing like that. But it just turned left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So,
Yo.
speaking of that, I think some of the things that fuel the stepdad hate, if you will, since we were speaking on ego is number one. Like I said, ego says, I am this, how dare you that? Ego. And then there's projection. I wouldn't, if I were you, I wouldn't date a single mother. I wouldn't date Sierra if I was you. You ain't got no kids. You can get anybody you want. I wouldn't if I was you. Or also, when my mom was dating old boy, he wasn't doing none of the stuff.
There you go. Look
And
out.
Russell is
There it
dealing
Hmm.
with a
is.
little future, so I'm going to project my unhealedness on their situation. And then, of course, there's misogyny, or if you will, misogyny against black
I
women.
think you flip it. Ego is second, and number one is
You might
trauma
be right.
and passive
Trauma and
parent,
projection, then
Yeah.
ego,
because
because
it's all people pushing this narrative that like,
mhm,
oh man, stepfathers, are you dating someone with kids, and oh man, like you got, oh no, you don't want to do that because this happened to me, and I did this, and boop boop boop, and it's just like, well,
that's projection.
it
Yeah,
ain't the same for everybody. It's
it's
I was
not
just
the
not.
gonna
same
say
for
that
It's
everybody.
everybody's
not.
situation is
Not,
different.
yep. It's very much different from everybody.
Agreed. And I would definitely say last on the list, or maybe first, depending on what viewpoint you're looking at it from, is misogyny against black women. I do feel that there are a lot of, not all men, but there are a lot of men that feel like women should suffer forever for not choosing men that they see themselves in the first time. I think a lot of men see themselves in Russell. They're corny dudes too. These ain't the people that are making these comments are not big handsome rappers. They're men like Russell.
Mm-mm.
They're regular everyday dudes working 9 to 5 who feel like they get overlooked by baddies, if you will. And so when said baddie chooses a bad boy and gets fucked over, they feel like that's her karma. And you should live in that karma forever because you should have chose better the first time. So society tells black single mothers that we should choose better, and then when we do, they call our husbands simps. Just putting it out there. I know there's no other women here, but it's
Yeah.
real.
I don't.
Yep.
Now
So
you said a lot of men see themselves in Russell Wilson. Like, can
they
you like
damn sure don't see
elaborate a little
themselves in
bit?
future.
Not well.
nah,
Elaborate on that. What you
nah, they
mean? Like,
see
what
Okay,
you
it.
mean?
I
Like,
will. I will. Okay, so and I've seen these comments. If Russell Wilson didn't have money, Sierra wouldn't talk to him. I've seen that. And what they mean by that is Russell is not a thug. He's not a drug dealer. He's not a gangster. He's not a cool guy like Future. He's a regular, everyday, nice guy.
That's why I say he
And
just give out cornball. Like if he, I promise
Exhibit
you,
A.
he
It's okay.
Russell really got a like a punch me face or whatever. If you
What?
just like you know what
yeah,
I'm saying.
he got a
If you want
punchable
to be
face.
honest,
He
like I'm
do.
just being for real. He has a very
I
much punch
genuinely
me
think
face
you know
or
why
whatever.
they never actually fought? Because Russell would lay Future out. This man is a top-notch athlete. He is paid. He don't want that smoke in real life, so keep it on
We can
wax.
never say that. We can never say that.
Yes, we can. You
I
better
don't
ask
like no.
Cam Newton.
Like
So I think why like Slim was
we can't.
onto it. Like,
But
is
that's
he
what
has
I'm
a very
saying.
punchable
Yeah.
face. Russell gives
Would you
off
stop with the punchable face?
that manager vibe, the manager that want to be
Yes,
walking
yeah,
Yeah,
around
like
he
he
like
corporate
that.
gives off,
Yeah.
and like
he
fucking
gives off,
situations
yes,
stuff.
like
Like,
he gives off that vibe. He gives off brown nose, like he gives off like just like like the supervisor that think he the manager and shit like that. There,
I have
like he
never
like
gotten that
right?
from
just
him,
Hey,
but
you
do I
clocked
get
in
corny
3 minutes.
soccer dad? Yes. He gives corny soccer dad,
Clocked
but
in
that's
3 minutes
okay, you
late.
know?
You need to watch out on that now. I might have to
yeah
readjust the
yeah
time that
he
he
gives
clocked in.
Oh
that like that's
I am sick of
if
it.
and I promise you if Russell didn't give off that type of vibe, man, we'll love Russell on
I think
everything.
so.
People would love Russell.
Hmm, maybe.
But he just give that vibe off, like, man, like, man, get away from me, bro. I don't want you around me. Like, you over
So
here, you
yeah.
ruin the mood when he come
Yeah,
in.
for
Like,
real. He
you,
get like yes, like
So
that's
like
what I'm
listen.
saying.
7 o'clock,
So
7 o'clock
to
in
answer
the
Josh's
morning, and you
question,
come in
it's
here
pretty
talking
much
about let's do great today, guys. Let's fire it. I'm like, you
Yes.
got too much energy
okay.
for 7 a.m. Ain't nobody else got this much energy, but you take
This is
that
all
And,
energy
perception. Oh my
and we
and
goodness.
not
come
saying
in
that's
here.
a bad thing. We not saying that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
That's just
No.
him. Like that's just him.
No,
Like
I
and we
agree.
read
can't
the
we
room,
can't we can't
read the
change it.
room.
But that's just even if it wasn't this situation, if it was just like right now, people could be looking at this screen or this podcast, and they can be looking at every last one of us and being like, oh, that he might be a square. Like he like he might or Mr. Dunny seemed like he might be, you know what I'm saying, cool. Like,
Yeah.
it's just that, you know what I'm saying? And
No, fair enough.
if he didn't give off that type of vibe, I don't think we would I don't think we would hear nothing about it. I don't think we would honestly hear nothing about it.
Okay, so you think if he was a cool rapper guy type like Future, this wouldn't be a problem?
No,
You
No.
might be onto
It has
something
nothing to do
there.
with that.
no.
It has
No,
nothing
if
to
it
do with
was
that.
if Future turned the leaf right now and said he wanted all his kids and shit like that,
What?
we would be more concerned with why Russell changed. I mean, why Future changed. We would be more concerned with that.
Yeah,
We
What?
wouldn't be concerned that he's like, okay, if in the morning Future woke up and was like, I'm changing my leaf. I'm not gonna be the toxic king anymore. I'm not gonna be that guy anymore. I am gonna be Russell Wilson. If Future said I'm gonna be Russell Wilson, but he keep his same demeanor, cause we would be questioning why he changed and not why he's being with his kids or why he wants his kids and
Hmm.
stuff like that. Like
Huh?
mhm.
Okay, I guess I feel you on that. But yeah, to answer
So it
Josh's
has nothing to
question,
do with like being a cool rapper, or anything like that. It's the vibe and the mood you bring, the energy you bring
yeah.
that he brings to the table. Like him being a stepdad is like, oh man, yeah, you're a great stepdad, but that's corny as hell. Like, like, come on, bro. Like, he's
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I hug my kids every like you do that, but you ain't gotta let me know. Like, I don't have to know all this. Like, just you be a stepdad, you do you, and be cool. But come on, what's it? Let's ride. Come on, Bronco Country. Let's ride. What he say?
yeah.
Lord.
I can't do that.
But can I
I
ask
bet he
you?
wake up at 6 a.m.
uh,
talking about that stuff.
and
Like,
see,
come on.
Hold
he
on, say
like
what
act
what you
like
say?
it
Hold
hurts
on,
me
hold
to
on.
watch my boy
Mr. Donnie, did you
like
have a
watch.
question?
I do.
Okay.
Are we more adapt to abnormal than normal? Maybe Russell is what
Preach.
normal really is.
Preach. Preach.
Yes.
It's on the
Maybe
money.
that's what normal is. But we've seen so much toxicity and retardedness and craziness and this over there that we so far over there, we like that ain't normal.
That's why
That's
I said
it.
at the beginning, Mr. Dunning, if Russell Wilson was more idolized and that type of stuff was promoted more, it'll be a lot different. But what's promoted more? Future
Ooh.
is promoted a whole bunch more than like or the persona or the attitude or the energy of Future is glorified more than it is of Russell.
Agree. And you hold
They're
on,
the
hold on, hold on,
polar
hold on, y'all. Hold
opposite.
on.
Polar
Hold on,
opposite.
right
Polar
quick,
opposite.
right quick. Because he made valid points that I did write down. Before I say what I have to say, let me chime in on what he just said. That can we sum it up by saying men respect Future? Some men. Like that persona that he gives, despite the fact that he has 8 children by 6 different women,
Mm-mm,
despite the
mm-mm.
fact that he's like in his 40s rapping about being toxic, he's
Not this guy.
idolized. He's idolized, right?
Eh,
Whereas
Yeah.
someone like Russell just got roasted for 5 minutes straight about getting the manager. Like, so it's definitely a society thing. One thing I want to ask to my fellas, since I have you, why aren't more men, since there's an issue with stepdads and y'all want the biological fathers there, which I think the whole community would love that, why aren't more men holding other men accountable for being deadbeats?
Who they surround themselves with.
Hmm.
Like
Is that your final answer?
me personally, I if I'm doing something fucked up, pardon my French on the podcast, but if I'm doing something fucked up, the people who I surround myself with, they call me out on it. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying?
There it is. There
So
it is.
especially if they know the type of person that I am,
Okay.
so it's all about who you surround. If you got a group of people that's agreeing with you about everything that you do, and you know what I'm saying, ah, you ain't wrong, you ain't doing this, and they not calling you out, then and you know deep down that you doing some fucked up shit, you need to surround yourself with different people. Even we call me and D. I'm just gonna use him because we talk damn near every day.
Okay. Justin Thomas says they got weak circles, which
That,
is what you're saying.
exactly.
That
Which is
eh,
what you're saying.
so
Okay.
weak circles, or they got more people. They got Future is in a group of futures, if that so to speak. He
Okay.
got
Bunch of
other
yes
futures
A
men.
group of
around
yes
him.
men. A group of yes men.
Group of
Yeah,
yes
And
men.
yes
yeah,
men.
group of
Okay.
yes men, and
Yes.
that's why it's not necessarily other black men, promoting it. It's his group, his village.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you got Russell Wilson on one end, you got Future on the other end. And neither one of those, if we're being honest, with ourselves, neither one of those we can actually see ourselves in that person. Essentially, more
Right.
people like, oh man, I like what Future do. He got the money, the cars, the clothes, the girls.
Yeah.
But do they actually see? Do you actually see yourself in Future? No,
No.
you see yourself as me, but I want what he has.
Okay.
Wilson is like, I want what he has, but I don't see myself in Russell Wilson being like, Bronco
Yeah.
country. Let's ride 6 a.m. guys. Do this.
Come
And
on,
Ugh.
calm
because
down,
I
here's
don't
the
let's
see
thing,
ride.
God. I
I
Calm
don't
down,
see God
really
let's
doing
ride.
feel like a lot of the self-appointed nice guys, they more so identify with Russell because
Yeah,
And I would
in
say
like,
I
in
fuck,
their
identify
I fuck
with
with
Russell.
minds,
Russell. I fuck with everything Russell do. Everything he
Yeah,
do for Sierra, everything he do for Baby Future. I fuck with all that. I fuck with every
Yeah.
last one,
you fuck
every
with
bit of
it,
that.
but per
yeah.
Yeah,
capita,
yeah.
the
But
community
him,
does
but
not.
his persona is a straight like loser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like
okay,
corny.
let's
I take
stand
that
on
back.
that.
Not loser. He's
No,
not a
no,
loser. He's
you
not a
can.
loser. He's not lame. He's corny. Like it's just simple. Just simple
Okay,
as that.
I
Too
like that, and
straight
we'll
laced
chime in
and
on
too
that.
unrealistic.
Hold on, right quick, Josh. So I did see a status one day where a woman did say Russell is corny. Period. He dresses corny. He talks corny. He is corny. However, he is not corny for how he treats Sierra and her son.
Facts.
And people
Facts.
are confusing the. I don't know if they're confusing the two or blending the two or what. But it
Legit.
seems more because he probably been dressing that way. He been in the NFL, right? Y'all know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you
Mm.
know what's
Why was
crazy?
his corniness never a problem before he got with Sierra and her son?
Because
If
because
it's
it's in
really
the
about his,
spotlight.
I mean, my pardon
Yeah,
me,
facts.
if
That's what
it's
I'm
really
saying. Yes,
what
it's
I'm
in.
saying
Yes,
is,
it's
if
up
it's
in. It's
really
up there.
It's in the
about
spotlight.
hold up, sir. If it's really about his demeanor and not his relationship, why y'all ain't been calling him corny since he got drafted?
We have. They have though. That's the
Yeah.
thing. They have.
Okay, and
Like
I'm
that's
not
what.
in
Yeah.
college,
Like
so
he
maybe
for
they
real. He
have.
has.
But
Like even when he was playing for Seattle.
okay,
But you
Even
know,
when he was playing
it,
I
for like
take y'all word for that
it's just his
because
demeanor.
but it's just society. Society see you on this in this tax bracket, and you supposed to dress this certain way, and you supposed to act this certain way, and they don't want you to truly be yourself. Like I respect him because he ain't listening to the noise.
he's
He's
not.
staying true to
He's
Hmm.
not going
himself,
to.
and
Yeah.
he moving how he been moving. So I respect him more in that aspect. Say what you want
As
to
he
say.
should.
You know what I'm
But like
saying?
we
I'm
said
gonna
at the
still be
beginning
me.
of the podcast, we know the issue isn't Russell. Russell don't give a damn. He's not going to see this
Yeah.
podcast. He don't see y'all Facebooks, and even if they do, they're laughing at it and then going and getting Sierra pregnant again. They don't care. The problem is when the problem is when the narrative rolls down into everyday life, regular life. And so that's why I asked if the issue is with stepdads and they're just simps and they're this, that, and the third, what are we doing as a community to ensure that more biological fathers are there? And it is cool to say, I hold my homeboys accountable. Okay, what about the, excuse me, what about the others?
That is
Like,
that.
it's them. I think it's the person. I think it's the
Hmm.
man.
So
Like
it's individualism, not community, correct? Is that what
yeah,
you're
like
Yeah.
saying?
yeah. You have to want to be a father. You have to want to be in this situation
Yes.
or whatever. Like it's not, you know,
I got a
Like
like
they
question
we
for
don't. They
Mr.
don't.
Donnie
um
whenever we get a
can
chance.
say it all
okay,
day.
but
Like we can
before you
literally.
ask your question to Mr. Donnie, let me ask you guys right quick to chime off of what D said. So it's individualism, it's that person, they have to want it. How many of you guys even know a deadbeat? To be real. Okay. That particular person, when you think of them, do they have friends, family? Are they in relationships? They got community of some kind, right?
Relationships. They in
Yeah, they probably
situationships,
being
but they're
yeah,
never
Yeah.
related.
Baby, I know deadbeats that are married. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
so
So I
the
think
point is, hold on, right quick. So the point is, they have community despite. But imagine if when a man came in every man's presence and they knew he didn't take care of his kids, they immediately shunned him. Imagine if there were just as many posts about how Russell is corny as how being a deadbeat is raggedy and sorry ass behavior.
It is though.
Imagine if the it
It
is,
is.
but it's not being talked about. Imagine if the
Same
narrative
way
was different.
as Russell as the positivity of what Russell is doing is not. It's just
Right,
not.
because you know why?
so.
Because there are people who are caught in their circles and they're more individual minded instead of community minded. And guess who gets the platform? The incels who hate good stepdads. And the deadbeats get to keep being raggedy and posting something every 5 business days because the good men are doing nothing. There's too many, no deadbeat should have friends of any kind. Because there's no way I would hang out with a woman that I know has kids and I never see them. What is your explanation, sis? If you ain't got no receipts, I'm not hanging with you. And I'm gonna call you out on it. But it's like it's almost like men are afraid to publicly call out other men because y'all want to hurt their ego. And once again, we're
No.
back at ego.
It's
No, it
it's
ain't.
not,
It ain't. It ain't
in a
that.
way that's
It's
not our place
Okay.
Mm.
though.
It's
Now,
so
So
that's what
ex-
I'm saying.
exact.
Should
I've
we
So
actually asked the
remove or
dude, like
not?
I've told the dude, hey man, it's not the child fault
It's
that he
not.
here. Step up.
and
I've
we
told the dude that, and we ain't even
Okay.
close. But I know the situation. Like the child ain't asked to be here.
those are
Agreed.
things
Because at the
those
end of the
those are
day,
Agreed.
no
truly
matter
what you have
what,
to
the children
realize.
are innocent and they are our future. If it's about the children, to hell with an adult ego,
But
right?
it's on him to listen
It,
though, you know?
But
it's on
let me
it's
tell
on
you
him.
this.
It's hold on, wait.
Go ahead. Go
It's
ahead.
on him to listen. But when you talk about all these deadbeat fathers and they're going around and doing all this stuff, you lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink. That's
There
a
you go.
grown man.
Hmm.
Agreed.
You basically
Just the same as the women that's giving these deadbeats the coochie.
exactly.
Okay. And
This
and
that's a
believe
grown
me,
man.
society
That's a
tells us every business day that we need to choose better. That's why we're having this conversation.
that's a grown man.
The
But you
narrative is out
you
so it's
there.
actually both sides. It's actually both sides.
No,
It,
the
it
narrative.
definitely is.
Okay, let me just say this because Josh got something to say. The narrative is already out there that you bitches need to choose better. That's out there. We see it on TikTok, Facebook every day. Women ain't shit and y'all need to choose better. That's already part of the narrative. And we actually listen to y'all. And now we have these
And it's
like
the
what
same for
and
niggas.
now
It's the same for
no,
niggas
it's not. What I'm saying is it's not. It's not normal conversation. When I pull up my
real though.
Facebook, I do not see statuses blasting deadbeats other than from these women.
Because that's what you follow. That's because that's what you following.
Okay.
If you saw that on your page, your immediate action was supposed to unfollow, block, or whatever. Because when I see something like that, I
Okay.
unfollow, I block. I don't see that. When I pull up my page, I see you. When I pull up my page, I see Bug. That's what I
Okay.
see. I see. I don't see. I haven't even seen the Russell
Okay.
interview or whatever. I don't see anything that talks negative about about the
Okay.
community like that. I
So
don't.
you
That's
do
not on my.
know,
so
so you do know that
acco-
just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And what I'm
I
saying
understand
is
that.
the
Yeah, I
conversation,
got it. I got yeah.
okay, okay. And what I'm
I
saying is the
so
conversation around men holding other men accountable, it just ain't really happening like that. Now y'all trying to hold women accountable all day long. TikTok,
I agree
Facebook,
with you.
YouTube, you name it.
If I
But
can just
where's
say
the
this,
conversation that
There is the
says,
conversation of
yes,
women do better. There isn't a conversation of, oh man, stop being a deadbeat. Like I'm not seeing those podcasts put out there. I'm not seeing
pink
any red
pill?
or purple pill podcasts out
Pink
there
pill, they
like
call it
that.
pink pill.
Or they call it pink pill, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that out there. But to answer your question, like why we're not holding, it's like that's a grown man. His brain
Okay.
has fully developed and he's made the decisions he's going to
Okay.
make, and his habits and his mindset are already set. Now
Okay.
here's what we need to focus on. If we're worried, so like if we want to change that narrative or change that, back to the kids.
Back to
It
and
comes back
you
to,
got ahead of me. I was coming right down your alley.
yeah,
Like
it
I'm gonna
comes
stop
back to
there. Yeah.
stepfather stepping up. It comes to the men, not necessarily stepfather, but it comes to the men that are in their lives, making sure it's like, all right, I know this person got a deadbeat dad. Then you know what? I'm gonna step in.
I'm gonna step
What I'm
up.
gonna do is like, hey, every Saturday we finna go over here and do this.
Yeah.
Be around a real man. He's gonna show. I'm not gonna flaunt it. I'm not gonna like just throw it in. It's like I'm just gonna show you
Yeah.
because you're young right now and
Yeah.
your mind is still molding and
Yes.
shaping and being formed. So that way, that pattern, a continuation of them seeing a deadbeat father continues on. Example that I know we all see that little YouTube video with that little kid walking around with the sprite. You know, I'm the mama. I'm the mama. You the daddy. You know, you gotta do what I say. Like, no,
Okay.
I'm gonna show these little kids what's right and what's wrong. That's
Agreed.
where the problem is coming
Hmm.
from.
I
I
agree.
agree.
So the only reason I brought
Facts.
up that is because if you guys, not you guys, but if people are angry because stepdads are being praised and blah blah blah, okay, so what are you doing to get biological dads in order? And if they're and like he said, if it's a lost cause, then let's bring it back to what's important, which is the children. As long as the child gets the love, mentorship, and nourishment they need, why does it matter who it comes from?
Correct. Hey, Courtney, I will say this, and I just remembered something you talked about in the beginning. You
Hmm.
talked about that scene from Fresh Prince. If you remember the last part of that scene,
Mm,
Will said, "Why doesn't he want me?"
yeah.
Slim, that goes to something you said about, when you do all you can for these kids and somebody may leave because they're reaching for that one, because they have these kids,
Hmm.
when we and I point at myself because I can't point at nobody else. When we are not there, what those kids are asking is, why did my daddy want me?
I've been in person when my son's dad decided to show up after 3 years, and I told my son about it against my better judgment. Oh, baby, because my son is he's a big guy. He's about 5'10", and he was 13 at the time. And I've never since he was a baby heard him break down crying like that. And you have to be strong, and you have to keep the door open and all that other shit. When in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I should have left that dude on red because look at what is the outcome. And he's a smart kid, breaking down. We just
And
had the
look,
best birthday ever. If you don't mind, I want to finish my story.
go
And
ahead, go ahead, go
so,
ahead.
but my circle and my village encouraged me to let him choose. Believe me, my first thought was to hell with it. Because I mean, 3 years straight, nothing. And now you want to show up now that he's, getting into private schools and all this stuff. You want to show up and play daddy. No, I did that. So I feel you on that. But it's not about me because I know my daddy and I know what it feels like to be able to call him even at this big age. And even if he never delivers, I'm gonna stand out the way and give him that opportunity because as much love as I give him, as much love as my family gives him, hearing that this man that he had not seen in 3 years texted us broke him all the way down. Don't take that away from a kid. It hurts. It hurt to see. It was hard for me not to break down along with him. But my place is to catch him in my mind, I'm thinking to hell with that. But okay, what's important? If he needs this, if he needs that part of him, because I have that part of me, who am I to stand in the way of that? Do I co-sign this? Do I know for a fact it's probably going to be the same bullshit it's been? Of course. But I'm gonna stand aside and I'm gonna be right here. I'm not gonna let where you been? I have. And guess what? I've never got to thank you for it and probably never will. But the importance is my son who's in his developmental stages. And all my only concern was I hope the seeds that I planted and that me and my boyfriend at the time had worked really hard planting won't be undone by you. But the seeds are so deep in there. You
Yes.
got to trust the seeds you put in them kids.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
So if he does whatever he does, that's fine. And I'm gonna be right here to catch you and we're gonna soldier on like we've been doing. But it is
Okay.
hard. I'm telling you, it is hard to see that in person. Why I'm talking about real life Will Smith. Why he don't want me where he been for the past when I needed a dad, when I it's hard to even talk about it. And at that point, I wanted to put that car in reverse, drive to Shreveport, and punch that nigga dead in his face. Can I be honest? I wanted to do some damage when I saw my child like that. But my sister said, let him write a note, getting all his feelings out and mail it to him. And I was like, all right, all right. And they are where they are now, but we started there and it's not an easy starting place. But kids still desire that no matter what.
Yes.
I said all that to chime on what Mr. Donnie said. They still desire that no matter what. We don't have to. Me and Josh, Kevin, he lost his father, but me and Josh, we got good dads. We know our dads. We can call them whenever. Every child don't got that.
Mm,
Amen.
I didn't
another
have that.
conversation, another day.
Well, I don't know you.
For facts, I like.
Another con for another day.
Oh, Lord.
I'm a step.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
somewhat of a step kid to somebody or whatever. Like or whatever. My mama had a
Okay.
boyfriend in the house or whatever. But there was never a sense of me wanting like, and he wasn't like, and I'm trying to like, and I'm not talking bad. If somebody sees the podcast or whatever, I'm not dissing him or whatever, but he
It's the
wasn't
facts,
there. Like
yeah.
this stepdaddy wasn't there. Like this is just was a man that was in the house or whatever. But nor was there a yearn for my pops either or whatever.
Okay.
It wasn't until my bro passed, my little brother passed or whatever, that I wanted to have something with my pops. It was never like me growing up. Oh, he needed to be there. Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Yes, like I get that he needed to be there, but there was a want. What as for a want for him to be there? Nah, it wasn't. But that was also because I never heard my mom give off a want for him to be there as well, for him to be in our lives either. Like you just said, my mama planted seeds in me, and it took her a little minute to trust those seeds because she
Yeah.
didn't because she heard like just from the people around her, we were looked at as bad kids, but we wasn't or whatever. But
Hmm.
that's another story as well. We it just was what it was. I literally looked at other men as examples. I never really just had role models like that. I
Yeah.
took even like right now, whatever Mr. Donnie say, I take it as advice. If anything Josh say, I take it as advice. Anything Bug say, I take it as advice. It's the only thing that can happen.
Yeah.
And that's just it. So like I feel like if my mom was literally bickering for him to be in my life, then the situation probably would have been like that where I got up and like, why he don't want to be in my life? Like, like it just never was that. Like I
And
cause
it's not
cause
that it
cause,
wasn't
cause mom, yeah.
happening. It probably wasn't happening with you around. I don't do anything like that in front of them. We have to protect the kids. That's our job. So it's not that she never had to pull them aside and have a come to Jesus meeting. I'm
Nah,
not doing that.
when I tell you that the like he wasn't it wasn't there, like that
Yeah.
conversation was not there or whatever.
Ever.
But this is what I say. Nor was on my mama end was there a force to push me to the stepdad either in
Yeah.
his ways because he wasn't there. So I have to ask when a woman is presented with a good man that's a step role, is she going to try to push him towards the man who is doing the things or giving off the examples, or do they just let it be? Like you said, if he want his daddy, do like let him want for his daddy, or do you say, son, there's a man over there, like, you see him go out there and go help him change the tires and stuff like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because just like that's kind of issue. We can't if we go do the stepdaddy role, there's a
Okay.
we can't put our foot down or whatever because of the whatever's going on. The bio might not like that. If I'm telling him, son, get on out here with me and come, let's work. Like let's get in this yard, let's cut this yard, let me help you change brakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if we let it be, why my pops really don't want me? How am I supposed to go about that?
Okay. I'll answer because I feel like you were talking more towards women, right? Like what should the
I guess
women
I
do?
did.
Okay.
Or example, or if a man had done, if Mr. Dunny done, or whoever done been in that role
Yeah.
of being a
And
stepdad,
that was my question for Mr. Donnie. Like,
how do
what
you
challenges do
influence
you
how do
face
you
as a stepdad?
influence how do
Yeah.
you
Go ahead.
influence a child to come, like how do you pull, like, because the only thing you can do is just show example. At least that's all I've been taught. Like I
Right.
can't really be like, hey, you got to do this, that's not right, like,
You can't
so
force
I can
anything.
So
Like
I can answer
you
in a
that.
you you
relationship, you can't force anything. You have to,
you
like
looking
you
at it from
said,
a
yeah. When I'm dealing with a man with kids, I just be me. Kids love me because Joe love kids, and I'm gonna just be myself. They gonna see me over here watching anime with my kids, and they finna come sit down with me
But
because
see,
I'm gonna
that's
be on
fun
me.
stuff. I'm talking about beneficial to you, like to your growth. Like I'm talking about we say boys need to learn how to, like, because I do
Yeah,
see videos, like that's what I do see videos. There are men out there that are teaching boys how to change brakes and stuff like that.
yeah,
There are men that are teaching boys like this and that. Like it's very much there,
yeah,
but is it?
so this is where you looking at it from approach of a stepdad. At that point, you just need to look at it as like, hey, that's my kid. At that point, now there are going to be some nuances that you have to work through as far as discipline and
yeah,
other things. But ultimately, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, my kid's outside. You fit to be outside. Let's go.
yeah.
Or hey, we finna change these. My kids out here change brakes. You gonna change the brakes too. Come on,
Baby.
let's go. And essentially, when that falls in line, and again, there, like I said, there are some nuances that the
Yeah.
stepdad, man, he's like, well, I don't want my kid changing brakes, or I want them doing. Well, guess what? What goes in this household and what's happening right now. Your
Mhm.
kid isn't in danger. Your kid's
Yes,
not being hurt. He's
yes,
not, he's not in duress. He is learning. So I feel like he's learning something that's valuable and that's going on. And what's in this household, what goes on here, goes on here.
agreed.
Now, what goes over there, hey, I may not like some things, and if he physically comes to me and tells me, I hate this is ridiculous, or I
Right.
feel unsafe in doing this stuff, that's a different story.
Right.
But at the end of the
Completely.
day, what it comes down to is, hey, I'm gonna treat you like my son. I'm gonna treat you like we be blood, you know. And
Right.
it really blood, yeah. But yeah,
My
that's what.
gosh. First of all
There's a
that was
whole lot of
great. I'm gonna make that into a TikTok clip, but I just want to chime in and say, include the child. Like if you're going to cut the grass, if you're going to, because Daddy had us doing very manly stuff,
No, and
but
see
he did
that's
it
what I'm
by showing.
saying.
So
If that is planned out, like if that is
yeah,
literally the approach, that is literally that. But there is no, like I said, like you can't force anybody to do anything or
agreed.
whatever. Yes, you can make this your child. Like like son, come on out here and get with me and help me do this. But you can't force it. How do you get overcome that if you are
it has
playing
to be
step, like if you are the
Showing
stepdad?
up, keep being
it has to be
consistent,
a team
keep being
effort on
consistent.
it.
And see, that's what I think. I think it has to be a team effort. Like
Has
it
to be a
has to
team
be.
effort,
Agree.
and I can speak on because I had a stepfather, and my father passed when I was he actually passed when I was 4 years old. My mom remarried, and I will say this is a lot of how I patterned my life is that I spent my life with my stepdad hanging on to the memory of my dad. So my stepdad never had a chance.
See and see,
Mm,
like
He never had, no matter how good he was, no matter, and it took me until after he passed to realize everything he was pouring in
It be like
that
that.
I never grasped. I never took hold to it. So I could have had a greater relationship than I had, but that was on me. I moved that forward by doing and being everything that he was.
Hmm.
And I'm not a yeller, I'm not a fighter, I'm not a screamer. And when I say it's about an effort between, see, that's when that other parent, whether
Yeah.
it be a mother or father, that's when they have to step in there. See, because stepping into a relationship, there's already a dynamic that is there. We talked about the parents, but there's also a dynamic that's there between the mother and them children, or the
Amen.
mother and that child. There's already some things that are said. She may say, yeah, I want you to come in here and do this, but over here in the corner, she ain't really saying I need for you to follow this. She's not,
facts.
she's not,
Yes,
she's not on the team. She's just a part of the team.
Yeah.
She's not saying this, all this, what you were saying about this is a team effort. She has to be there. Like, look at here, me
Agree.
and him, this is how this house rolls.
Agree.
Because if a father steps in and say, this is how this house roll, in a minute he gonna go say, mama, well, this, that, and the other. And she gonna,
exactly.
if there's
no,
some
and now
movement,
he ain't go. The kid's not gonna go back to the mama. He's gonna go back to the dad and say, like this,
XYZ.
and then it's gonna go to the ego thing. Why you
right.
talking to my son like it's gonna be?
Yeah.
And that's why there has to be, when children are involved, in my opinion, there
Hmm.
has to be a united front between all parties
Hmm.
involved.
Amen.
Again, I say involved. There has to be a united front. See, because even if you grow up in the house with your biological children, are gonna try to play the card anyway. I
Children
don't
play
care.
their
They
mamas.
Oh
Yeah, they're
yeah.
not exempt from that. They gonna
so
try you.
can
They
you
will
Oh,
try you.
daily.
imagine if you
Whatever gonna benefit them.
if you're not the biological, if you've just came in, most definitely they're gonna try to play the card. That's why it has to be this united
United.
front.
Agreed. Mr. Donnie,
This
I
is
just want
how
to
we
chime in on
roll.
that because women, that's where our role does come in. Sometimes you can't just sit on your hands and let things play out. You've got to step up and be like, hey, son, Mr. So and so did say, you have to back your man up. As long as it's positive stuff and no one is in danger, you can show some respect. You know what I'm saying? And also, if you run back and tell your biological father and he has a problem with you learning to change a tire, you're definitely coming from ego, and that's when I would have a conversation with him. No shade, bio dad, but you never took the time to teach him this, and Mr. Johnson is trying to do that, and I'm trying to keep the peace. Please do not interfere. Don't interfere. He's not being wrong. It's ego talking. Don't we want our son to know if he's on the side of the road how to change a tire? Are you gonna show him? Okay, no. Mr. Johnson will be teaching him this weekend. So I don't know how that became a problem, but we finna nip it in the bud right now. Nip nip. Because if
Yeah,
you're
like
not
you
gonna
said, like
teach them, fall back and let the people who are stepping up step up. But sometimes we can't just sit on our hands and let stuff play out because it does put women in an awkward position. This is my husband, this is my kid's dad, and then I've got two egos and I've got to keep the peace. That's a lot on a woman's shoulder. And then here
it
go my
is.
kid trying to play on my top two.
So
Like
like I
Mr.
said,
Johnson
that's
told me
where
I
it
had to
comes
turn off
down.
the game. Oh, let me go talk to Mr. Johnson. What's going on? Okay. Then we got to come in there together. Okay, well, you do got homework. I agree, Mr. Johnson, turn it off. Now we both the bad guys. I mean, it doesn't work out in anybody's favor. But if you're here to be praised, liked, or for it to be easy, continue not having kids or dealing with people who don't have kids because ain't shit about it. Like they will play you. Kids will play you. Kids are selfish. They're supposed to be.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be the selfless ones. Kids are they are genetically engineered to be selfish until they reach a certain level where their brain fully develops. Of course, they're gonna go to the parent that's gonna be like, yeah, go ahead and do it, even if that's a deadbeat biological daddy. Is it fair?
It's like Mr.
No.
Donnie said, it comes down to that line of communication that you
Facts,
have with your
Hmm.
significant other. And if you don't have that line of communication, the
The
kids will
teamwork.
find the chink in the armor.
baby.
They
They
will
will
find
find
that
the
chink in the
weakest link.
armor. They will find that weakness and they will expose it. And
Every
you be
time.
mad. You'll be mad. Be like, man, this little kid is like, you know what? Actually, we need to talk. We need to have a conversation, a sit down conversation about
Facts.
this. What you think about this? How should we approach this? Are you okay with me doing this and saying this? Okay, then you
Agree.
are great.
Agree.
Now let the other person again, it's a village that you kind of have to work with,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, hey, let bio dad know this is what I'm gonna do if this something pops up and crazy, and this is how we're gonna handle this situation. And it's like, all right, cool. And if your son comes in and says sell something to the bio dad, well, they already let me know that this was gonna happen, and now you acting like this. They told me what happened. And so you got to get a step ahead of them and their thinking and the way they are.
Yes.
Because, like I said, the kids, they will wear you out
They
all
will
day
try you.
long.
They will try.
Wear
It
you
takes
out. They will
time.
try you.
Like Kevin said, how it took time. Even with children, any relationship takes day to day work, including children. It takes time to get to
Hmm.
where we are now. Me and my sons. Not that they're bad kids. My kids are really great, but I can't say that they never tried my kindness. I cannot say that they never tried to play on my top. And when I was dating, I can't say that they didn't try him. And when they did, I would back him up because he's not. He doesn't. I don't believe in spanking kids. So of course my spouse is not going to put their hands on you. But he's not being rude. He's not being disrespectful. And what he's asking you to do is not out of line. Get your tail in there and wash them dishes before we have problems.
Hmm.
And that's the end of that. United front. I completely agree. Like as long because it's about the children, and sometimes you have to go against what a child wants to do, and you're a
Which
villain.
is 90% of the time.
Which I 85. So I mean, I like that D is here and we get the perspective from someone who does not have kids but chooses to because technically you could pay single mothers in dust and I wouldn't have a problem with it. I usually encourage the young girls I know to not date men with kids because this ain't for the weak. You
If I
when you
give it
take a
like
man on with
you definitely
kids,
definitely right, but I have my preference. Like when it go past a certain number, I can't. And
no,
even
no,
even
no, I
being
respect
something,
that.
it just
Yeah.
has to be. It has to
And
sit.
it's
Yeah.
crazy because I prefer women with kids because
I
these
prefer
doctors are
men with kids
amazing.
because I
I
ain't
need to
got
know that a
no
baby came up out of you.
Lord, sir. I prefer men with kids because they understand.
I
I
I don't
prefer
know,
men with kids
man.
because they should, if they're active parents, understand your lifestyle, whereas a man with children might not. So I don't have a problem. But when you are dealing with a person with children, they are a package deal. And if you are not ready
Hmm.
to treat them kids the same way you would one of your own biological children, it is best to date women who don't have kids. They are available. Or vice versa. Men who don't have kids. That option is available because they're looking to you. They're looking to you. They're not dumb
Yeah.
and they're looking at you. And
Yes.
it's hard to take your ego out because children can get slick with the mouth.
Hmm.
They really
I don't,
can.
I don't know how many times y'all see me done put this thing on mute and just see my mouth moving, boy.
Yeah,
Hmm.
kids
Teenagers,
will try you, baby.
Now, a
teenagers,
different
boy.
story for a different day. A different story for a different day is like if you do date someone with kids, the issue I have, like, I've dated, a few women with kids, and Man, some of them kids, they be back, they be crazy as hell. Be
Oh
talking all
my.
kinds of way, saying kind of stuff to their mom. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on.
There don't be
I
no structure. There don't be no structure in that. Like,
Yeah,
exactly, and
you
that's
know,
why I'm like, I can't bring my kids around this because I'm gonna lose my.
yeah.
Agree,
Yeah.
agree. Because I worked really hard when I dated men with kids. I worked really hard day to day, and like I have good boys, and I'm not saying they're perfect, but these are honor roll students. They're good, respectful boys, even though they try me because they're not perfect, but they're good kids. And so, if all hell is breaking loose at your house with your children, I might opt not to date you. That's fair. Because structure is something you should get in your single season. Honestly, it shouldn't even be up to stepdad to come get some order in your house. You need to get that in order before you start dating anyway. Single moms, I'm talking to us. If your kids is cussing you out, coming in all times of night, you need to get that straight before you be worried about a man anyway.
It's almost too late at that point.
You ain't gotta like me, but
Almost
you
too
don't
late.
respect me.
Right.
Exactly.
You
Cause
guys don't have to
I
be
can't handle
besties, but
talking to
you
you
do have to
crazy.
respect
You
them.
crazy.
But respect is a two-way street. You don't get to come in and ignore my child because children are small people. So you
Hmm.
don't get to come in and
Hmm.
act like they're a piece of furniture. No, no. Jamil saying hi to you. Are you going to say hi back? I shouldn't have to say that to no grown up.
Right.
You
That's
feel me?
crazy.
It's real though. It's real.
Yeah.
and, oh my god, like that shit that's crazy because I had it like it was vice versa or whatever, and I would be the one speak, and she would have to constantly tell the little boy to that hey Corey spoke to you and stuff like that. So
Nah, see, nah. 'Cause that's why I'm like,
Now
hey,
that's
hold
getting
on, wait a minute.
egotistical with the babies now. These is babies. And
It's
you a
not getting
stranger.
egotistical with
And
the
you a
baby,
stranger.
but it's just like, but it's that to me at that point, it's like
Yeah.
I got this is a long road ahead of me. If I
That's
got
what
to
I'm saying.
teach you
There's a wall. There's a
basic
wall.
stuff of like you speak when someone come in the room,
Yeah.
you address them, yes, ma'am.
it has
I
nothing to do with the baby.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
oh
just saying,
Lord,
Yeah.
like
Okay, so I get what you're saying with that. I thought you meant like maybe
yeah,
the kid being kind of standoffish.
no, I mean
nah, it
absolutely. Like
just nah, I'm just
kids young
bad
me, so I
man.
kind of like I'm pretty good at reading people as well or whatever. But it's just like when I say structure, I'm not talking about order in the house. I'm saying like just your kids know no respect, no have they have manners and stuff like that. So if someone is trying to speak to them or connect with them or whatever, like
Yeah.
it is like reciprocated or whatever, instead of
Yeah.
just like instead of being kind of standoffish or whatever.
Well, okay, and I agree. When I said order, I agree. Like some stuff ought to be in place before you worry about dating. Like your kids ought to there should be some guidance because you're a mother first before you this nigga girlfriend or his wife. So that ought to be handled prior. However, remember, children are small people. If I read a room when I come into it, I sit and I observe before I get to talking and really expressing myself. I kind of read the room and see what's popping, and that's probably all that child is doing. So I wouldn't take it personal. And I know it's easier said than done, but one thing that children respect is consistency. Okay, he didn't speak this time. That's okay. I'm gonna speak again. Yeah, what's up, little Ryan? Okay, he didn't speak today. All right, I'm gonna speak again. And this time I'm gonna come with a gift. I'm gonna observe what he like and see what he like to do. And this time I'm gonna come with a little something. Hey, what's up? I got this for you at the store. Okay. Now he paying a little bit of attention. And
I
also
must
he
have
knows
I
you're
must
paying
have
attention.
I must
So
have got some horror stories. I got some horror stories.
I got plenty, but I'm just saying prior
I got
dating,
some
I
horror
do
stories. I'm trying to tell you.
at the end
Baby
of the
kid
day,
I
horror
the
got some
story.
kids
fucking
are
horror
kids.
stories.
That's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, because I've dealt with the nonchalant. I'm not your mama. You don't know me. Girlfriend number 667, especially the whole dudes I be dealing with. So who am I that you have to respect me? Respect is earned. Yes, even from children. And I know black people don't like to hear that. You don't get respect just because you made it past 21. Glory, glory, hallelujah. How
That's
are you
crazy.
coming in? Are you trying to son this child or are you showing mutual respect?
That's crazy. That's
This
crazy.
they house at the end of the
Cause
day.
off, cause off, cause off, cause off rip. That's just like me saying fuck Mr. Dunny right now.
What?
I don't know that man. I don't know that man from Timbuktu. I don't know that man from Timbuktu. But I
I
totally
apologize, Mr.
just from off rip. I respect him as a like just as a
Elder.
being an older man
I feel
or
you.
whatever.
Yeah.
And that's how I was as a kid. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't no this person has to earn respect. No, this person is an adult. No, I don't. If what they are telling me is not safe or not this like whatever,
Yeah.
This person gets this older person gets all the respect in the world.
Mhm.
It's never
Yeah.
I ain't never made my mama boyfriend or whatever he was jump through hoops or anything. If he wanted me to do something with him, I did. If he needed me to do something, it was no fuss about it because it was simple respect.
Okay.
It's just like, and my mama just like, if you don't respect him, like it's just not gonna get anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And
So
I would say
basic
this
manners, yeah, but
is that
like forcing a relationship or forcing rapport, you cannot get rapport without relationship. You have to do the work.
but I think that I've got a 4 year old. And I would say this is that we have to remember the children are some of what we poured into them.
Facts.
Mhm.
When my 4 year old, we went to the dadgum rodeo, and I told my sister she done spoke to everybody at the rodeo and every animal. Okay, that's just her. Uh, you know, but that's who she is. And again, she's respectful. But again, kids are nothing more than empty vessels.
Hmm.
What we see, what I see, I don't know nobody. When I see a child, I see the one that poured into them. How
Facts.
they
Facts,
act, how they
facts,
respond, how
Yeah.
they
facts,
carry
facts,
themselves. That was what was poured into them.
facts.
Agree. Completely agree. Okay.
Yeah.
Valid points. Valid points. The whole room on quiet with that. Gotta
Now,
respect it. Gotta respect it.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I was
Look around, everybody
like,
on mute.
daddy.
reflection of the parent.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And that's why I say, and this is to my mamas too, that stuff ought to be in order before we even worrying
I was
about
talking
men.
about him too.
I'm
And
blessed and
then,
I'm
but see,
able.
You the
and
one who
then
I thought was
look,
family. Man.
it goes to the point of look, literally a man trying to talk to a woman and talk to a woman and try to give her his plan or how he see whatever, and this woman is regardless doesn't listen or and like just doesn't comprehend or whatever. You can guarantee I can like it can it's guaranteed that that same trait is passed down to their kid, or their kid is gonna reflect that same thing. So now I double right back to what I said.
Yeah.
How would I as a stepdad have to, if this child is just the splitting image of his mother, how would I be able to break it, or is it just a simple fact of just not dealing with it at all?
Okay. I respect your question. And this is just from a woman's standpoint. Consistency. Well, first of all, I would advise at this big age, and no shade to anybody, and it's something I had to learn too, deal with healed people. Because if trust issues are present, that person shouldn't be dating anyway. But if you find yourself in a relationship where there is trust issues, there's normally trust issues because trust was once broken. How do you create trust with consistency? No, Ronnie may not receive you today, but like I said, keep showing up. Don't let if the goal is the trust, you can't be deterred by the outcome.
Cause
You,
she
you have to
will.
keep showing up, and it's I mean, you have the right. You said if you want to stay, you have the right to not even bother. Because I would suggest don't even bother because she may need to heal, and maybe he does too.
I
But
give
if
I
you're
give
gonna
I give
be
it a I
there,
give it an equal
yeah,
amount. I give it an equal
Yeah.
Yeah,
amount
that's the best.
because like I feel no one is just ever completely healed. But you know what I'm saying? I
right,
like,
right. So
you have to stand strong, stand on business if you're going to do it. But I also, if I'm gonna be the advocate, like, cause I ain't got no kids, I'm the stepdaddy here. Uh,
Mr. Donnie is also a stepdad.
okay, well, like, you have to want it, like that has to be what you want to do. And
Yeah,
if it's not, man, get up out of there. Get up
agree.
out of there.
Because it's
Get
not
up out
meant for
there.
Yeah.
You ain't
everybody.
gotta hurt nobody's
It's not
feelings. You
for
ain't gotta do
everybody.
nothing. You just
It's
gotta get
not
up
for
out of there.
everybody.
Here's
And
the
I would
thing.
So,
say
When
this.
I meet women
you,
without children, I encourage them. Look, there are men out here that got no kids. You don't have to deal with this. This is hard. You don't have to. Now, I love kids. That's in my DNA, so I don't mind. It's not for the weak though. When you try to be nice and that little girl ignore you, that little boy ignore you, or hit you with a side eye or the bombastic side eye, your ego will be triggered because no, the F I did. But you have to pull it back. Why is that distrust there? If you're dealing with a single mom, there probably is someone that was supposed to be there who is not. And
Yes.
that has caused distrust. So here comes Johnny come lately, supposed to be different. What makes you different? In the words of Genuine, what's so different?
Nothing.
yeah.
Man,
Yeah, and it
ooh,
comes
man,
down to
If I
come
just
on, come
here,
on, goddamn.
Go
is
ahead,
be
Mr. Donnie.
very careful with dealing with mothers, women that have kids, and women that are dealing with men. You know the impact that you make on that child's life. You build a bond with a child, and then you decide, I don't want this no more.
Mm,
You've set that child back farther than they were in the beginning because now you've given them false hope. You've tried, and now you've ripped all of that from under them. So I would tell anybody, if you want to deal with somebody that has kids, be very serious
Intentional.
and
very much,
Intentional.
very much
And
so.
that's why I don't introduce people to my kids right off the bat because I don't even know if you're gonna be here today or tomorrow.
yeah,
So the last person I dealt with, she was the same way. She don't just introduce because, like I said, kids get attached.
yes,
So I
yeah,
don't want to introduce my child to somebody. If they get attached, then they looking for Miss Jillian. I just made up a name, and then she's gone, and they done got attached to her. Like so now, I got to deal
Yep.
with my kids processing this. So I'm real weird. I get along with females, but not do males. So
Women.
I have a lot of female. I'm sorry, women. I have a lot of women friends, but they're just friends. Uh, but like when somebody I'm truly interested in, they don't meet my kids right off the bat.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
and my kids are 16 and 13. You know what I'm saying? Even at that age, I still don't just bring random women into their lives because, again, they can still get attached. We're human. Humans get attached to certain things. So I don't want them to get attached to somebody who's not going to be here.
That's why I definitely
Yeah,
don't try my best to meet the kids like too soon
Yeah.
because I like I'm a big kid myself. So when I see when I see kids, I get told like and especially when if they drawn to me or whatever, man, it'd be a whole nother like a whole different type of feel when it's like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
and when it doesn't work out, it's just that shit is just like
it
damn,
hit
like that
extra
shit is
hard.
yeah.
it's very much hurtful. Like it's very much
Mhm.
hurtful.
Like my
So, and
kids
just
don't
to
think I
kind of
date because they don't hear me talking about women. They don't think, they just think I'm out here just lonely.
yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, to kind of sum up everything, like you said, we're dealing with a kid that's kind of off the wall, off the chain. Uh, it's something that they need to heal too, because they don't know, the last person mom brought around didn't do right, the time person before they didn't do right. So they may be acting out of order. They may be acting up. They may be going, being over the top or being mean or nasty to you and stuff. Like you said, the consistency and showing up and doing things. Because, like you said, a lot of times when you need to heal from something, can't just not heal from it by just not doing anything, period. So it's
Yep.
just like you breaking your arm, it's like, well, I broke my arm playing football. I'm not going to do that no more. It's like, no, go out there, do your thing, heal up. But then at a certain point, and in order to know you're fully healed, you need to go back out there and do the thing that actually broke you in the begin with.
Right.
And
Yes.
then
Yes.
once you've done it, it's like, hey, I'm healed. I'm good. I'm back. I'm
Yep.
jumped up. And so the same thing with these kids, it's they've been hurt, they've been broken, just like you said. They lost a person they put a lot of trust into, and then just they gone now. So it's like I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to talk to this new person my parent
Right.
talking to, and it takes time for them to heal and move around. So like yeah, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I
But it
wanted
but
to
it's
chime in
al-
and
But
say.
it's
and it's
true.
also like it's also like a full circle because like y'all saying the kid can be hurt and then also the stepdad it could like the step parent could be someone who has been through that before and they can try to be there as much as they can but like how like regardless of it being about regardless of it being about the children and stuff like that, we still have to think self-preservation. That's regardless of whatever. It has to be
Okay.
a thought of self-preservation. So when do we regardless if it's the kid, when do we say, all right, yes, I've done this, I've waited or whatever, I've been there for this child. I have and he doesn't seem to want to break, nor does the other parent want to help get him involved with it or try to break um the the ice or whatever you want to say or whatnot. to where I won't feel bad if I do like if I do have to leave. Yes, I may because I'm a very conscious, self-aware person. I know if I'm in this child life and I have to leave, I'm gonna hurt this child. But what am I just supposed to stay there for
No,
this child just
Mm-mm.
like and not feel hurt like
Because at
afterwards?
the end of if you do that, at the end of the day, the child they gonna see that you unhappy. Kids pick up on feelings,
they do.
so you can think you faking a funk all the time, but it's I guess you could say it's better snatch the band-aid off and then just let them heal. Because if you playing a funk, the kid gonna pick up on it, and
They
then
take
they
offense
gonna
to
feel like, well, maybe he upset because of me, or you know what I'm saying. All these questions gonna go through their head. So I feel like you should just, like you said, just leave. Like,
In the words of Willie Nelson, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. If you genuinely did all you could and it's not being received, you do not gain appreciation by giving someone more of what they're not appreciating. And it sucks.
Amen.
Some things are
you gonna
inevitable.
fill that bag up.
Someone's going to be hurt, whether it be the child, whether it be the mom, whether it be you. Someone may be hurt, but if it just isn't clicking, it's just not clicking.
Hey,
And you
Slim,
need to move out the
What's
way.
up,
They
man?
say, preserve yourself and move out the way to make space for a better fit for them.
let
That's
me give
part of
you.
life. It don't always work out, and it sucks. It really do.
This is my
But
old school
we're
way.
pretty resilient. Single mothers and kids, and you know that because you had a single mom. We're a resilient bunch. We can get in a
Joe,
tight fit. What?
Joe, I want you to let Mr. Donner talk. He been trying to
Oh,
talk.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna tell you my at this age right now about anything and everything is this. Anything that disturbs my peace is far too high of a cost for whatever or whomever it may be. Because you said something self preservation, self, self worth, self healing,
Hmm.
self happiness, self peace. All begins with self. Before I can give anything out, I got to have it in.
Amen.
And there's no sense in me emptying myself out, whether it's to a woman, whether it's to my own children, if I'm not being refilled. Because what happens in the end is then you depleted and you ain't no good for nobody, not even yourself.
Yourself.
Amen.
I just told a friend of mine it is okay to be selfish with yourself in order to gain your peace. It
Amen.
is okay to just step back from everybody, focus on you, get yourself together because you ain't gonna be good to nobody if you unhappy all the time.
Agree. No point in pouring into a bucket with holes. If you genuinely have tried, you tried to be consistent, you tried to build rapport, and it just ain't happening, then there's no shame. And you know what? I did what I could. I'm gonna have to be out because I'm a person with feelings too. Nobody's saying you got to sit there and be no pinata. But
Hmm.
also, before you come into a relationship with children, you better be in it for the long haul. Sometimes them feelings, I know as a mother, my feelings take a backseat often, and I know he's saying you got to find a balance. But since you are technically not a biological parent, you always have the option of the door. Like you don't have to. I have to deal. You don't have to deal. But if you want to be there and you in it for the long haul, I would just say, like Josh said earlier, you gotta keep being consistent. And if you're above consistency with a child, deal with a woman who don't have children. Because even full-time parents, the reason me and my kids have the relationship we have is because I put in the work daily. Even if I live with them every day and just paid bills, came home, cooked, and came to my room, we wouldn't have the relationship we have today because you need more than that to be close. It takes work, real work, even for the full time parents. So, step parents, sorry to tell you, you're going to have to work twice as hard. If you don't want to do that, that doesn't make you a bad guy.
And let's go for parents that live in two different households. Like I tried my best, even when I was down and out, I still made it my business to let my kids know that they were the priority. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, like, I live 3 cities over. I've been here all weekend. Like, you have to. it's one of those things like they say, you go for what you want.
Yeah.
So if it's truly what you want, you have to put forth the effort. You got to put the energy into it.
And it's a
So,
thankless job. You really can't be sitting around waiting for no appreciation because it's probably not coming till they grown. Like you
All right,
don't
look,
really.
look. Quick question. Look, all right, check this out. All right, say for instance, you get this woman, all right, and she had like, and she's good with the kids and all this here or whatever, but she's looking at the, all right, you say you 3 cities over, she's
hmm
looking at the situation as, all right, yes, you do like you are there, but it's not vice versa. Like she feels as if your BM isn't bringing the kids to like ain't meeting you halfway where whether there is more of you going above a little bit. And what if she interjects with you and she comes to you and say, like, I think you need to change it up, or I feel like a lot of stress will come off you if you do it, like if you let her meet you halfway. What if if the stepmom is to come in, like,
hmm
and she's coming out of good intentions, coming from a
yeah,
good place. She healed all this shit. Everything is perfect. There is no drama, no ego, no none of that. Everything is perfect.
I respected and I had that conversation, and then that's where me and my kids' mom would sit down and have that conversation too. Because if that was the norm for a while, like everything is subject to change. That's why I say
Agree.
nobody's perfect. Because if you're perfect, you don't have room to grow.
Mhm.
So that's a conversation that we'll have, and it
Agree.
will get to that understanding to where we can both meet. Because there are going to be certain days where I'm not 100% that I can't give 100%. I can only give 90. So I'm gonna need you as my co-parent to come in and fill that void. So if I need you to meet me halfway, especially if it's starting to, I guess you could say, affect my household now,
Yeah.
then that's an adult conversation that we're going to have, and we're going to have to get to some kind of understanding.
Big facts.
Because I think because I be feeling sometimes, yes, even though they are a step parent, I think they get when it comes down to kind of like putting in the structure, whatever, they are still put on the back burner simply because they are not the biological. It's simply like, okay, we co-parenting.
Yeah.
You can't do like you just help me do this. You help me co-parent with this mother. Like still, you help me co-parent with this person,
hmm
and it's not no okay. I'm doing this with him. We got some going on. We got something kind of structured. And yes, it has to come with communication and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
for sometimes it may not work like that.
Okay.
and I feel like too, a lot of people are afraid to have those hard conversations because they feel like it's going to cause some
Cause
kind of
problems. Yep.
problem. But if you avoid it, it's gonna cause problems. So
Agree.
Facts,
you can either hit it head on and let's go ahead and discuss this and try to find some kind of common ground, or we can just keep playing like it's invisible, and then all of a sudden it's gonna blow out of proportion. Now it
facts.
just blows up to something that it could have been easily discussed. So you have to have those, no matter how small you think it is, it might be small to you but big to somebody else.
Yeah.
So
And I
that's
can
why I
ask
keep
you the
checking.
same thing, Joe. Like if you were like if you were talking to a man and he
Hmm.
comes into your life and this is all good, like he has the purpose and the plan and everything, and he's trying to show leadership and he's coming to you about this and he wants you to kind of make an adjustment so it fits his structure a little bit better for y'all. How would you take that? Like how like what
Okay.
would it be for you?
Okay. And several things at play here. Is this just some guy I just met, a serious relationship, or my husband? If we talking husband, then the husband has spoken. But also, if you are still in courtship stages, you kind of have to get in where you fit in. You can make suggestions, but like you were saying earlier, your example was, well, she need to meet you halfway. That's a great suggestion. However, if the person decides to take it or not, that's on them because this is what we have in place. Like when you are coming into something that's already set up, you kind of got to get in where you fit in. So now, if something is way out of whack and my husband isn't feeling it, okay, we need to have a sit down with all three of us because husband he's observing from a different perspective and he's not feeling it. I would not allow him to blindside the baby daddy. and I would be the interjector, or we would have a sit down at a library or someplace private where we can talk about this. Egos
So
don't
it's
need to be checked. That's all I'm
so
saying.
it's not
Okay.
so it's really so it's really it's all on positioning, like whatever wherever you fit at, like with
Right.
the person, because me when it comes to stuff like that, like no, I'm not finna meet a woman and marry her the next day.
Yeah.
It has to be a growth. It has to be a growth thing. So from Island and no, yeah, people, men go get on a knee when they want to or when they feel everything is right or whatever. So
Hmm.
during this growth thing, like during the growth, before doing the growth to the knee, till he feel like he got to get to the knee. It's basically just a get in where you fit in where
I'm
you.
not saying. I don't want you to take it as, oh, his opinion doesn't matter. He ain't shit. That's not the case. However, when I date a man with kids, I understand. I'm gonna ask you about the dynamic. If it sounds like something healthy, then I'm really just here for the extra stuff. Like, I'm a bonus mom. I'm not the mom. If you need my support on something, then of course. But no, I'm not gonna kick the door down and be like, no, hell no. Me and my baby daddy do it this way. Or if I was you, I would do it this way. You're getting played, homeboy. Pipe down.
And it's like what
Because
I
you are
said. Like
still
if I'm
new
coming into a
to the
relationship,
city.
that's the question I ask. What's the dynamic between
And that's
you
why I
and your
put on
kids? That
there
yeah,
everything is peaceful. Everything is good intentions. We ain't talking no negative. I don't
yeah,
nothing come no, we ain't talking no bad side here. Everything is
yeah,
good intentions.
So what is this suggestion then if nothing is negative?
No, I'm saying like Boog say he stays 3 cities
Oh,
over.
okay, okay, okay.
If
Yeah.
yeah.
Boog is constantly the person has always going back to the other city, and he gets someone who is good for him, like this woman is all good intentions, and she sees that it's a stress on him. Like
Yeah.
Boog is being the man that he is, just
Yeah.
going out
Okay,
doing
I
what
get
he
what you're saying. I get
does,
what you're
and
saying. Yeah.
this woman, she's
Hmm.
doing what she's supposed to do. She's trying to bring stress down on him.
Yeah.
So she brings up the suggestion, hey, how about you tell your baby mama to meet you halfway, or have her sometimes come out, like drop the kids off out here, you know what I'm saying, or
So
whatever.
she can suggest that, and that is her right. However, if it doesn't get made of, if the law don't get vetoed, don't take it personal.
Yeah,
Because
And
there
okay,
might be there
and
might
I
be
think
a
the key
reason
point of
there.
that, I
I
think the
got you.
key point of what he was saying to me was
Hmm.
she saw that I was stressed about it,
Right. Okay. So
so that's why she
yeah,
brought
if
it up.
it's
That's why I
not
said to
really
come
trying to
then.
stress her. Okay. If it's
Yeah,
not
she
Yeah,
really
that's
trying
what
to
it
trying
is.
to
de-stress
stress
me.
her.
All good intentions. All good intentions. There's
Yeah,
nothing
Because
trying to
you
change
never
nobody's program.
know. You never know. Depending on the parent, if you change or do anything, I call them eggshell parents. They barely there as it is. And if you change up anything, they gone. Because they looking for one reason to be upset. And now I done took boyfriend's suggestion and baby daddy is gone again. And of course that's not technically his fault. But you never know the situation. So sometimes that's why you got to get in where you fit in. Now, if you really want to be a
You see,
help,
that's crazy.
wait,
That's
wait, hold
crazy
on,
to
hold on,
me.
hold on, hold on. So if you really want to be a help and you run it by a baby girl and she's like, for these reasons we cannot. Okay, how about some of the times you do the drive since you want to be a help?
Hell no.
I thought it was about the children. I thought okay.
My bad.
Now I'm confused.
My
Now I'm
bad.
confused
I,
because
it was,
hold on, no,
hey,
run it back.
my
Run it back.
bad. My
I'm
bad.
about to choke.
My bad.
We ain't
I
got
wasn't,
time.
I wasn't
Wait, wait,
expecting that.
slow
I wasn't
down,
expecting
slow
that.
down.
Hell no.
So backslide real
I
quick.
wasn't expecting that. Hell
No,
no.
My
I
bad.
was.
My
I
bad.
was. I knew it was coming
It's
because it's not
my
about the kids. It's not
It's
about
not.
the
It's
kids.
not. No, like no. Not saying
Oh, that was
hell
funny.
no. Like,
You said what you
oh my
said.
god. My
That,
god.
If it's
that
My
was
about the
god.
funny.
children, if
I'm
it's
sorry.
about
I'm
if
sorry.
it's
I'm
about
sorry.
I feel you.
Chat. I'm just like this sometimes.
That was hilarious. But if it's
But
about
Okay.
no,
the
but no.
kids
But like you
and
said, the
she
difference in
hold
the
on,
two
real quick,
situations
real quick,
was
real quick. If it's about the kids and she has stated a reason, even if you don't agree with it, for why we have to do it this way, and sometimes it is to accommodate a sorry parent to keep the peace, to keep the whatever, to not affect what's in place. Sometimes you got to get in where you fit in and go with the flow. Because if you
That's
come
crazy.
beating your
That's
chest,
crazy. I
it's
couldn't. I
crazy, but it's
couldn't.
life. Even I've been
I
there.
couldn't.
Once upon a time, real quick, because we got to go in a minute. Once upon a time, when my baby daddy decided he wanted to be active out of nowhere, he used to come and get our son from my house. When he got married, we had to meet in the parking lot of the mall. Out of respect, I did it, but I didn't have air in my car or heat. So there were times we would be sitting there 30, 40 minutes in a cold ass car waiting on him to accommodate this foolishness. Now, at any point in time, I could have said, the hell with this,
But
because
that's not
you've
foolishness
been
though.
picking him up at my house. But out of respect for this situation and because it is about the kids, we endure. You feel me?
And see that's the thing. That's when it goes back to self-preservation. This person is coming in and seeing that this man is like he yes, he is accommodating, he's doing all this, and she sees that this man is overstressed, and she wants to better his life. That comes into like, because when yes, everything is for the kids. They are the future, like Michael Jackson said. They are the future. But when will the relationship ever be? When would that be a factor? Like, when will we are in this relationship? I want to build with you. I want to build with this
All right,
woman.
pause real quick. Let me ask y'all, do y'all just want to flip this and keep the conversation going? Because technically we have 6 minutes. I would have to restart it and we can keep going. Is that what y'all would like to do?
It don't matter to me. It depends what the chat want to do.
Yeah, I'm with society right now, man. And not society, I mean the guys in the group. That's society, the people in this pod right now.
Because I
But
don't have a problem. I can stitch the stuff on YouTube, but I just want to know, is that what my guests want to do?
It doesn't matter to me.
We know, because baby, you've been talking. But technically, we got 5 minutes left on this particular chat. So, did y'all want to kind of
I'm gonna
wrap
help
it
you,
up,
baby.
or did you want to keep going?
Well, I'm gonna wrap it up because I gotta help Layla
See, Daddy do the
finish up
pause.
finish up what she yeah, finish up what she gotta do. But
Okay,
I
so we
would
got 5 minutes left. Yeah.
I'm very interested on what people are gonna say in the comments because again, to everybody that's watching, these are our opinions. These are our personal experiences. So we're just telling you our point of view. We're not speaking for everybody.
Yes.
Um, but hey, I like this little cliffhanger. D, what way to throw that out there, brother.
I'm excited because we got in here to talk about Russell Wilson and the foolishness. So we didn't got off to the baby daddy and driving over to the
I
second.
thought
And
I
when
didn't
I
realize we were
asked
talking
him, was
about
he
Russell
about that
Wilson. I
life?
thought we
He
were just talking
said,
about the
hell
whole
no.
stepdaddy
Now it's
dynamic.
the wrong
Yeah,
stepdad.
I'm thinking about I'm just thinking solely stepdaddy being in that
Yeah, I wasn't
position.
even worried about Russell
Because you
Wilson. I
said
just
that hell no with your chest.
Nah, because like if I stay 3 cities over, I don't know. It'll have to be something like that, because literally, this I know we got 4 minutes. Situation. I wanted my the girl that I was dealing with to come move with me or whatever. It wasn't gonna be, and I stayed in Texas. She stayed back in the city in Louisiana. I wouldn't want her to continuously have to go be the one to take the child. Yes, I wouldn't mind going with and meeting the child dad halfway if that was the point. But if it's, how would that me saying suggesting, hey, let's meet halfway, how should that cause any problem, or why should that have to accommodate the other person needs or whatever? It shouldn't, like, I don't know.
Because
it's and
technically she moved for you. So I would be looking at you to make this drive, to be honest. I moved here, sir, to be with you. I took my
Okay.
child away from his father to be by your side. And you're above making this drive. I'm going back to
sorry about
Shreveport.
my
I,
fault.
I, I literally just said, meet me halfway. Meet me halfway.
And if he decides not to do that, then what? Which would be his right, because who told us to move
He
anyway?
have to come. Why wouldn't he? What would be what would be wrong? What would be not right for him to come pick up his child?
I agree. I completely agree. But if you've dealt with baby daddies, you know that's probably not going to happen.
And that goes to my point of being like a step, like being in that role.
My
Like,
question is, why couldn't you just
when
move
would
to
me,
Shreveport?
or when would my suggestions, or when would my opinion be solidified or be a stamp, or it just
Two
never go
minutes.
happen until
2 minutes.
the kids get to 18? You said correct.
No,
See,
I said, why didn't you move to
I'm
Shreveport?
talking about
There's less
Buzz.
of
I'm talking about.
you. There's
Oh, I
less of
said
you
two
and there's
minutes. We
two of
got two
them.
minutes.
Why didn't you
Oh
just
no,
move to
I moved
Shreveport?
from the city. I moved from the city to be in a better position. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I'm in that position. I want if I'm trying to court somebody, and I'm seeing future, I'm thinking good intentions. I want my shouted with me so I can put her in the, like, so we can both grow, so I can put a ring on it.
Okay.
Conversation and understanding. That's what it's gonna fall down to. Conversation
Whoa,
and
whoa,
understanding.
low. But yeah,
Compromising and understanding.
Compromise. Come on.
Those the ones that fit hand in hand.
but you couldn't compromise and move to Shreveport to make life easier for them.
I'm from Shreveport. Like, why would I move
Yeah,
back? Why would
yeah.
I move back?
For them,
I mean, why would
now
I
it's your
move back? If
future.
there was nothing, if I left for a reason, why would I come back?
Because now you have
We
a
got 40
reason. It's
seconds.
family,
We
right?
we, we got
And
40
that's
seconds.
why it'll
Hey,
be a whole. Hey, we
y'all can
can't do this anymore. I
y'all
got
can catch me on Twitch at
to.
twitch.tv
That's
forward
what
slash.
that's what that hell now came from the heart.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I'm gonna post it on YouTube. Also, it'll be on Spotify. Thank you for joining us, and God bless.